Hello, everybody. This is Vera Volta here. I'm an indie VTuber who likes to react to Caleb Hammer and talk about various nerdy things. Today, I'm going to react to one of the most infamous episodes of Caleb Hammer, and I feel like that's especially relevant now. It's especially relevant nowadays because Boogie's got into hot water, and not once, but twice within like the past month. If you don't know who Boogie is, I think I'm gonna link some helpful content in the description because generally those people are better at going over like his history. I'm probably gonna link the I believe it's Mark Klum or something. He did a Boogie let him into his house and everything and follow him around for like a month or two. It's actually gonna come up in this um video because I have seen this before. It's just I haven't seen it in a while. So I did somewhat uh, getting a refresher here. I'll also link to June the King. He generally does pretty good retrospectives on YouTubers' careers. And I'll also link to Mr. Snowflake if you want more of a humorous coverage. But okay, let's go ahead and get this started. The bare minimum I'll say is that he's one of the OG YouTubers, and currently he is in trouble for uh, shilling a crypto scam, which is funny since he lost a bunch of money in crypto before, but now he got a little bit for shilling a crypto project. And he also got in trouble for supposedly faking cancer, which is a little bit up for debate, but generally is assumed to be true. He got kicked off of the Lolcout podcast, I believe, and then they got him to tattoo liar on his face. So Boogie's been very busy since this video's come out. But let's just hop into the past when he came on Caleb Hammer.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live again through the power of the internet. I am an old school YouTuber that was like one of the first to the market, going back all the way to 2006 is when I started my YouTube channel.
Holy cow.
Where are you based out of?
That's insane.
I'm living in Fayetteville, Arkansas, which is where I've been for 25 years.
So it makes like, so you didn't do the standard like, oh, things are starting to work in YouTube, let's move to LA.
Yeah.
I know that
That's good,
was a few years ago.
I was really tempted to, but as I said back at the time, I was LA poor, Arkansas rich.
Yeah,
now,
there's nothing wrong with that.
a lot because Northwest Arkansas has the University of Arkansas, go Razorbacks. We have the home offices of Walmart. And Walmart did this really smart thing where they told every business, if you want to sell at Walmart, you have to open an office in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah.
So there's like 2,000 offices, small businesses built. We're the home of Tyson Foods. So if you're eating chicken in America, you're probably sending that money back home to us.
I think they also had a VeggieTale nuggies.
Hunt, one of the largest trucking companies.
That was weird.
And because all of those companies are there, including the Razorback games and all of this other stuff, you have the Walmart children, the children's of Sam Walton spending money on the area. It's become a really expensive area to live in, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
I guess over
that's
time
the
by
home of all that,
it.
but sadly,
I don't know if
to
that
be
counts as
blunt, you're
gentrification.
kind of the home of, I think,
know.
what every YouTuber fears, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The decline. Right. I think you went from, if I'm not mistaken, millionaire, correct?
Here's the thing, though. If you're a YouTuber, I feel like you need to prepare for the decline because not everyone can be DSP where they just like struggle along forever and just outlive everybody. But I think the general like lifespan of a YouTuber is said to be like 5 years is generally the best that you can do in terms of like peak numbers. But yeah, no, I think you should prepare for it like you're like but this can sound dumb comparing them, but like you're an NBA basketball player, you gotta make sure to save all your money because otherwise you're just gonna be in trouble if you blow through that because your career is only so long.
Technical millionaire.
I was close. I was really, really close. At one point, I had, and I mean like for 2 days.
How is he not a millionaire?
For 2 days, I had about $800,000 in crypto. Went to bed one night, and it was worth half that.
Yeah, crypto's very speculative.
So here's the biggest
very
regret.
volatile.
I originally invested in Ethereum. And this was based on a few friends becoming
probably
Ethereum
would have been better.
And I had like an initial investment of about $200,000. I put it in, and then it fell for the first time.
Yeah,
and like 200,000 went down like 8. And I'm like,
so even if crypto wasn't crypto, and is generally volatile by itself, I don't like if you just put all your money into one coin. Because, okay, I guess I get to do that thing where I say not financial advice. But the main thing about finances when you're investing, I think, is diversity. Not like diversity inclusion, but like diversity of what you're investing in. Because then if something does bad, hopefully something else will do good and kind of balance it out. That's why generally people recommend index funds like the S&P 500. Like that's what Caleb always talks about, because generally they kind of balance each other out. So if you're just investing in one coin, that's just a recipe for disaster by itself. Even if it wasn't like crypto by itself tends to be kind of volatile, especially if you're investing in shit coins, which I believe he did do.
Oh, you know what? I don't really need the money right now. I'm making money. I can live off of that.
How much were you making?
10 to 15,000, I think.
A month?
Yeah, in a month, right?
Incredible.
Okay.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, incredible wealth. More than you could ever hope to spend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really good.
Eventually, that crypto went up to past my investment point. Got close. If I held onto my Ethereum right now, if I had never needed to dip into it and I had not gambled on stupid altcoins, I probably have about 1.5 million in Ethereum right now.
Even still, like I don't even. Yeah. Okay, what year was that? What year was that?
The initial investment happened in 2019. No, 2019. Yeah.
Okay. I think he was doing it around like crypto peak.
200,000.
200,000 in 2000.
The initial investment was in 2018.
Okay.
And then the first market crash.
2018. Let's say you put it at the beginning. S&P 500 was worth 271. Now it's worth 458. It would have almost doubled. Almost doubled.
If I put in like traditional stocks or
traditional, that would have been better.
S&P 500 just following the market in general.
Yeah.
Was there not a single person surrounding you? Was there not a single person just in your YouTube circle, in the family circle, who's like, dude,
did you not just go?
You're making money.
I had the opposite. I had people telling me, you should invest in crypto. Everybody I knew,
everyone you knew,
all of my YouTube.
Okay, buddy, did you like have like someone doing your taxes or anything? Did you ask them at least, or if they have like a buddy who knows what to do? If you don't feel comfortable with your finances or know what you're gonna do with it, ask for advice from people who know. I don't know, man. This seems kind of dumb.
Super friends. McJuggernuggets, kid behind the camera, all these people. They're like, look, I've made millions from crypto. I made millions from crypto. Nobody was telling me that it was too late in the game. Nobody was telling me that I bought Ethereum at $30 and now you're going to buy it at $280.
It wasn't even too late in the game. It's just like crypto's a gamble.
Yeah,
it's just straight up a gamble. It's like I hardly consider it an investment versus like traditional. Okay. So
I mean, not to make any excuses. But keep in mind,
he's going to make a lot. He's got to. He's a Boogie. That's just what he does.
And so no one in my life was ever trying to teach me what to do with money or how to do it with money.
Okay, but that's a lot of people.
Somebody comes along and they're like, look, I took my initial million and I turned it into 20 million. Yeah. You should do that too.
That's why I'm excited about this conversation. Usually on the show, I just meet with random people who are they're either a part of the audience or they're off the street, and I just help them through the situations. You're an interesting case here because you follow the case of the professional athlete, the actor, the YouTuber. Yeah, exactly.
But this is what I was saying
lots of money comes in. We put it here. We put it there. We spend it. It just goes crazy. Then we end up broke. It's a traditional story, and that's why I'm so excited to have this conversation. Is because you just followed. You followed that path. I mean, what would you say you're worth today in total? Since you guys are so awesome for supporting me, I partnered with a company called Kudos to give some money back to you. So stick to the end of this to see how you can participate. Kudos is fantastic because they double the cash back you receive on every online purchase with a simple click of a total. So check it out for free. The rewards are great, and if you get the grand prize, it's like a bonus Christmas gift. The equity in your house is what's carrying you.
Yeah, that's everything. Yeah. My bottom line comes down to if and when I need to sell my house, I'll have a nest egg of probably $300,000 that I can hopefully invest smartly this time and live off of the dividends. I would like to think I wouldn't screw up a second time. I wouldn't like buy crypto a second time.
Crypto, but like what next? Like
Da, 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 da. Well, actually, I guess he sold crypto. I don't think he really bought crypto, but still.
Would you say you've become educated on personal finance? Essentially,
I at least know not to do that. And I think the other thing,
there's a lot more not to do.
I think the other thing to do is hire a professional.
Yes.
Yes,
right?
please.
Yeah, get that financial advisor in your corner. Yeah. That is like the key. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. So I just want to start with the basic things for where we are today. YouTube ad revenue. That's the big boy. That's what's bringing in the primary cash monies right now.
And I showed you my numbers. I made about $44,000 in the last year, but
which gives us $3,724 a month on average. But we know a lot of that has to do with
huge spike came from this
documentary.
Right?
Okay, the documentary linked below. Mike's awesome,
and that spike absolutely will not be sustainable. Now I have a few other projects. I got a great podcast in the works called the Lol Cow Podcast. We just made our 5th episode. It's profitable.
Okay,
that's going to be an income.
This is not good.
That's probably
this is the one that he just got in trouble for, though. There also is a little bit of a mini conspiracy theory that maybe this whole Boogie faking cancer, maybe he's not faking cancer, but just him refusing to show that he actually has cancer. It was like a whole ploy to bring people to the podcast, and then they'll pay him with that. Like, I don't know if I 100% buy into that, but I wouldn't be like, if it happened, I wouldn't be surprised that Keem came up with like a evil genius plan, I guess.
$2,000 a month, I think, within the next 6 months. So that's going to be a nice lifeline. My YouTube numbers, I think, are going to settle at probably $3,000 a month. But if you look at my finances, if we got into them, to be comfortable, $2,100 mortgage, $800 a month health insurance. Utilities, bills, everything. I need about $7,000 a month to maintain my existing lifestyle, which I just don't think I can do.
Oh, trust me, we will get there. Patreon, like honestly, what's even the point? It's $122 a month.
I never
Are you doing anything?
No, I never.
On there?
No, I never promote it.
See, okay.
You could get like Chick-fil-A like 4 times.
Income stream here. We launched a Patreon. We did a budgeting program, but we didn't just do them as cash grabs. We actually thought of them as potential future business avenues. And the way that we did them is we put way more value into them than what we were charging.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And so my
Patreon, if you go and read it, it originally said, this is an AdSense forgiveness Patreon. If you want to give me $5 a month because you use ad blocker, please do. And that was all. I never promoted it. I never pushed it. I never, for the most part.
You have dedicated fans. You do have dedicated fans. Yeah. You've gone from almost 4 million subscribers down to or almost 5 million subscribers down to gonna fall below.
For a little bit, if you didn't know, he was even called like the Mr. Rogers of YouTube. Like the amount of his rise and fall has been very, very, very dramatic.
Potentially.
Yeah, it probably will. Probably by the time this airs, honestly, there's a very real chance. Yeah.
With that, like there's clearly people that are still very dedicated boogie heads, whatever you might call them.
Is that what they're called? I didn't know what they're called.
I asked these people for help like a year ago, and the internet publicly shamed me.
You've asked people for help a lot.
No value.
Yeah, he does. He begs,
like one time
he begs for money on Twitch, I believe.
I took a huge hit to my health.
Maybe
and
both.
I was like, got really scared because these medical bills are starting to pile up. And this one time I came out and I'm like, hey, I really could use some help.
Wasn't there the oops, I just accidentally bought a $100,000 Tesla. Please give me money.
That did happen.
I never bought a Tesla. I never. Okay. Yeah.
You didn't get a Tesla?
No, of course not.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'm driving a Toyota hybrid Corolla that I bought used for $20K.
I saw the Toyota.
That's a very good. That's a very good option. Again, Toyota Curve. You don't want a lemon. You don't want like BMW. You want a nice, good car that's going to last you a while. That's generally a Toyota. The Toyota Curve applies to basically any concept of if you're buying something that you're trying to get to last for a while. Is you want the just right one. You don't need to get the highest end every time. But yeah, no, he did do this Tesla thing. And even if he didn't get it, he shouldn't be surprised that he got like backlash for it. It seems like Boogie has like an attention addiction or something. So it seems like he just wants attention, whether it's positive or negative. So that's part of why I believe that he actually does have cancer. Maybe conspiracy theory exists.
But I was like, did he get rid of his Tesla?
Never had one.
Never had one. So that's just internet rumor.
I mean, so I did.
Well,
I went with my friend McJuggernuggets to a Tesla dealership. He test drove, I test drove, right? Okay. He's like, I'm going to buy one. I hope you buy one. Let's look into getting you one. And I got this crazy idea in my head. Yeah. You know, it's showroom experience, right? I'm like, I'm going to get a Model X with the wing doors. And then I called my friend at the Celebrity Car Museum in Branson, check them out. Okay. And I'm like, how much to kit it out as a modern day DeLorean?
Maybe 10, would be 15, cool.
Maybe 20. Let's put the money into it. And I thought I'd have a cool show car, right?
That would be very cool.
We're coming off the back of Ready Player One. The DeLorean was all the rage again. Back to the Future anniversaries just happened. I'm like, this seems like a smart investment. While I was in the showroom.
Not sure if it's practical, but it looks cool.
And I put a $2,500 investment deposit down, and I'm like crunching the numbers, looking. I'll spend $50,000 today on a down payment. Yeah. I'll loan out the other 50. This is a stupid decision.
It would have been aggressively stupid. I'm so glad you didn't do that.
Yeah. So,
I am so glad you didn't do that. That was one of the scariest things that I thought I heard.
But at that point, why not just play the character? At that point, just let the internet do what the internet's going to do, right?
Bro, that's not going to help you,
I didn't expect front page of Reddit. That was wild. And to this day, I think it's still fascinating that people think I bought that car. I can't believe you thought I bought that car. And the worst part about it is, and anybody out there, like, if you want to buy...
Yeah, no, this is exactly like... This would... See, this is another reason why that conspiracy theory exists, I guess, is because he could clear that up, but he just doesn't. Just because he wants the attention, even if it's negative. So that's... I guess that conspiracy theory is going to come up a lot. But let's see. Imagine it being a conspiracy theory that you actually do have cancer and are just faking to not have cancer. That just sounds insane, doesn't it?
A luxury car, buy a luxury car. I don't think it's a smart decision. But if you're going to buy a luxury car, don't buy a Tesla.
What's wrong with Tesla? I'm considering getting a Tesla.
They're so expensive.
Caleb did get a Tesla, and he would not shut up about it for like a month. Because he was like, oh, you stupid gas users. I got a Tesla. He was like that for like a month. He calmed down. I guess he just had like a Tesla high.
Repairs. If someone dents that vehicle, they know it's a luxury car, so they make sure they upcharge you every chance they get. And then if you want to go the fastest possible speed, there's a fee to unlock that. It can do it. It's just a software governor. They charge you to let it have the ludicrous speed. Like it's a money. It's one of the worst money sinks I think you can make.
Yeah, that's why I don't like that Tesla is basically doing like subscription just to use your car. That feels very like cyberpunk dystopia, and I don't really want to head even more in that direction, even if it seems kind of inevitable.
I mean, unless it's like a beater that's getting you from A and B, or just safety measures or room for family, everything beyond that starts becoming a want.
That's why.
So luxury vehicles are okay if they're,
That's when I bought afford them. The newest car I've ever owned was this hybrid. Yeah, and it had one previous owner. And I bought it just before all the prices went crazy, so I got it for 21,000. I wanted to build credit, so I put 12,000 down. I loaned out the rest.
You still owe on it?
I think maybe 1,000 or 2,000. It's in the neighborhood of not very much.
Okay.
Not
Facebook.
Not too
76
bad,
bucks comes in a month. Again, what are we doing there? We're just posting some clips and just nothing's happening, or
no, this is Meta PC. So this is a sponsor that I have. We get 5%.
All right.
Yeah, we get 5% of the sales that we make in a month. So some months it's low like this, $76. On a really good month, it's maybe 300.
Interesting.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Let's keep going through the income. Twitch, again, not... For some reason, I would have thought you were doing better on Twitch.
And here's the thing. It's because, number one, I don't stream as often as I like.
Interesting.
I get very anxious doing it. Most of the bad things that I ever said, I said on Twitch, right? That's because I have this,
I guess.
Trying to totally break character with you here. I have this very Andy Kaufman-esque character. Also that, and I'm a
kind of.
And so I will either push the edge because I grew up on Andy Kaufman, Sam Kinison, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Andrew Dice Clay. I love shock humor. I listen to shock humor.
I don't know if he might just mention it here, but he also said that he'd like have like two different personalities basically for depending on what content you were watching. Because on YouTube he tried to keep up like the Mr. Rogers thing, and on Twitch he'd be like the anti-PC funny man. So I guess there's also like a clash between the audiences that attracts. I don't know.
Or still to this day.
But people didn't like it when you did it.
No, then it is they like it coming from a shock jock or a shock comedian, not the person that some people branded as the Mr. Rogers of YouTube.
Exactly.
You can't do that. Bob Saget did it, but I'm no Bob Saget, right?
So why we do it then?
Yeah.
Stupidity.
Okay.
It just,
Bob Saget's
but on top of that, if you watch one of my live streams, I mentioned,
if you don't know,
donations, subs, stuff like that, maybe once in a 2-hour stream, because I've never, against the character I play, against the reputation I have, I don't like crowdsourcing.
But you refuse to get a job.
I don't know about that.
Survive.
It's less of
so we have to do something.
It's less of refusing, more that
you were refusing.
I could.
Based on the documentary, have good news about that, you could have tried.
Well, you're not going to have 4 million subscribers for long, so you can get a job now. Sorry, but
I
mean, that's not something I would actually ever say.
It wouldn't really help because I don't think it's necessarily the subscribers. It's more which I guess it could be like holding you back. It's like, oh, I could totally salvage this. But in terms of, I think he's more like, oh, I have infamy. And then also I got a felony because I did a stupid thing and did a warning shot instead of just, if you're actually scared, don't do a warning shot. Just shoot him for real. Sorry if that's controversial, but that'll be a lot easier to defend in court than a warning shot.
Merch. People aren't really buying your merch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'd take $20 free a month, for selling the product.
I get it as well, but when I start seeing people on this show, especially business people, who are just so scattered in different pots.
Yeah,
and littles coming in here. It's not adding up to much. Instead of, again, this is what I was going to start bringing up with Twitch. Like you say, oh, I'm not really on there much, and things have been consequences from what I've said, and then I'm feeling anxious about it. Then I'm just like, okay, we're done with Twitch.
Yeah.
Who even gives?
Just put it all on YouTube.
What we know can be the revenue builder all time,
which continues to be YouTube ad.
Yes, it does. This is absolutely the biggest number that we have seen here so far. Now, would I be able to? They're not going to be able to see it, but would I be able to see the studio app?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, cool.
I think I showed you a screenshot.
Yes, there's a couple things I'm curious about.
Okay.
Private for my eyes only, not for you.
I'm so interested now.
So, what I'm mostly
I love analytics.
I want to go lifetime. So, dude, okay, this is what the revenue looks like.
A little too
YouTube
obsessed,
revenue
to be
starts,
honest.
right? Because obviously, first of all, when YouTube started, it's just,
I mean, the first 3 years I started on YouTube, there was no partner program. Partner program didn't exist.
So
that came in later. It was stuff like Machinima
and then
until
just trickle to where we are today is what your graph looks like. That scares me.
Yeah, I had like 2 good years. If you look at the 17-year history, I had like 2 really good years.
You've made $1.3 million. Incredible.
In 17 years, which comes out to what per year?
I know, but that's still
Are you a math guy?
Not a public math guy.
I mean, subtract like 2 years though, because you weren't making any money there, and there wasn't any indication or any expectation of making money. So I take out those 2 as well. So.
What did I say? 1.3?
Yeah.
Over 17? 17 was when you started earning? Or?
Also, funny thing about him asking if he's a math guy thing, and Caleb going for a calculator. Every single accountant does that. That is, you. If you're an accountant, you don't do it in your head. You do it on the calculator. There's no way you're gonna risk that, and it's just easier.
15 would have been when I started earning.
$86,000 a year. Well, I mean, you're above the median household income.
That'd be out of disability, which is what I was on when I started the YouTube channel.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? But this managing money correctly and not spending a lot of it on prostitution would equate to us having at least a little bit of money now.
Well, again, to address that important part of the doc.
Yeah.
Number one, those numbers are rounded up. Mike admitted that those numbers are rounded up and adjusted.
Is that what you're
secondly,
saying?
the majority of that money was spent traveling. And I went to
I thought that he said that he just lied to Mike, because I thought that was what he admitted to later, is that he just lied to Mike and told him these exaggerated numbers. Again, I think he just wants attention, whether it's positive or negative. I don't think he cares.
Game Awards. I went to Disney. It was still a huge waste of money.
Oh yeah,
but I think if we're dropping
adult.
character, and I think if we're being genuine here, I think I tried to get a travel channel off the ground and try to do what my friend Jacob the Carpetbagger and Adam the Woo do. And I thought people would watch me go to Disneyland, right? I'm a big fat weird guy trying to do this.
Maybe.
Turns out they did not want to watch me do that.
So if you contributed
maybe
of the, you know,
like
80 whatever that you're making on a monthly basis, 20% on a monthly basis, which is like just very basic recommended, contributing to just the standard stock market, 8% return, you know, being a little more conservative there from beginning to end, you know, up years, down years, all combined 8%.
Sure.
Yeah,
Over the course of 15 years, $17,000 a year would equate.
You're about to see the magic of compound growth, because if you put it in early, it builds on itself, and he's gonna say what that would have been if he had invested it.
To almost $500,000 now.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we continue and just let that continue to compound, and hopefully throwing more things in there, we could have gotten you to a point where, you know, mid-60s retirement. What scares me now? I'm not going to talk about the age thing, like whatever. This is financial.
Yeah. Man, I'm not making it to mid-60s. Let's just be honest.
Oh, well, that's what I want to talk about.
Not a good
I'm not talking
mindset.
about the. I know a lot of people want to. Okay. This is financial audit, not dating audit.
Oh yeah, because he's
ever wonder how you could read
he's dating a very young girl right now.
We're stuck in the old.
So she's gonna live longer than you.
Sure.
Yeah.
You guys might get married, maybe.
Sure. Probably.
And
what do we do when you're no longer
her.
here and you've left nothing to a widow?
Well, my process has always been, when I met her, without getting into her personal history too much, because it's not necessarily the place for it. But
I guess
when I met her, she was struggling with severe social anxiety. She was struggling with just getting her life together.
Feels kind of
when I met her,
a little creepy.
I was talking to my friend.
I don't
Michael
know.
Kid
Maybe just
camera,
because of
his
what I
plan
know,
was,
it
just
seems
be
kind
the
of
person
creepy.
you needed when you were in that position. Because that's who I was when I was her age. When I was 20 years old, just like her, I couldn't function.
Yeah, that's
anymore.
So young.
I played EverQuest and World of Warcraft and built terrible websites and made a barely passable income.
What is this?
I think he was originally like ran like porn websites, which is weird, but apparently that's what he originally did.
With you leaving her or anything?
Well, hold on, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
If I left her destitute, my plan is to.
I don't know how he got the Mr. Rogers thing after the porn websites.
Like get her out into the world, get her the experience she needs, get her working when she's ready.
But if we're responsible with money, you actually leave her at nest egg instead of just putting life.
I'm just
now.
saying. I'm just saying right now that's a conversation her and I have had, and like that's a very real possibility. And she's chosen to stay with me because she's not in it for the money. Right?
Yeah.
She's in it for the life experience. She's in it for the love.
But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't take care of her.
She's in it to become a better and stronger person.
But as a partnership, caring about the other partner, you want to, instead of putting now with instant gratification, we want to leave.
Well, that's
something.
why I'm here.
Yeah.
Right?
Like there's a hat merchant with cancer, and he chills his hats. He does it a lot, and he says that it's all for his wife because he's assuming that he's gonna pass and maybe soonish. So the hat salesman just keeps selling the hats, not for his own sake, but for his wife's.
Sitting down with you today.
No, absolutely.
Because I'm hoping you can help me create a financial plan that can.
That's why I don't call it out immediately, so you don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a mortgage. This is your biggest equity position. What do we think the house is worth today?
Zillow tells me 480. One of the houses in the neighborhood just sold for a little over $5 million. It's the same size. Or sorry,
what?
$500,000. 500,000.
Okay.
It's the same size.
That
as
was
mine.
a big
it's
difference.
Literally across the street, and it just sold.
Okay.
So I think there's a very real chance that I need to put maybe 20,000 of work into it.
I don't know if when it's houses, I don't think it's gonna be like the Sonic Totem where it's like I'll buy it upcharged just because this infamous person had it. But so I don't think someone's gonna just buy his house just to be like, oh, I bought Boogie's house. Look at how cool I am. If anything, they might actually undercharge him, I guess. But it would be kind of funny if like influencers were fighting over buying his house. That'd be pretty awful, but it would be kind of funny.
We need new carpets. We need paint, stuff like that. There's hole in the ceiling and some,
Did you almost lose
YouTube
this?
damage. Do what?
Did you almost lose this house at one point?
No, never.
Okay.
Yeah. That's always, I will bend over backwards to make sure that mortgage gets paid.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
if I
good,
have
I guess.
to sell everything I own, if I have to, and I have, we've made some concessions that I'm not entirely comfortable sharing.
Interesting.
Because the people involved are private people.
Oh yeah,
but I did move a roommate in.
Yeah,
he's been helping
he
a
has
little bit here
roommate.
and there. I had a roommate over the last 25 years. He's finally been able to kick in a little bit as well. So we are finding ways to.
4 people?
So there's 2 roommates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
what was the purchase
maybe
price
3 contributing.
Original purchase price $275.
So I don't think his girlfriend has a job.
Financed in 2018 because of my divorce. So the loan in 2018 became $200,000 because I put more money down because I had money to put down. So I got it down to $207.
And we're at 4.3%. What are we going to refinance? You're going to get
not too bad.
8% if you refinance.
The plan would be to try to bring the initial monthly payment down. But I really don't want to have to ever do that because we're 5 years into a 15 year. So we paid so much principal off.
Wow, you did 15 year.
Yeah, I was making good money at the time, so why not do 15 years? But now we're from 2018 to now, we're 5 years into a 15 year. Now, I'm no math wizard, and you are the math wizard, but that means I paid a good amount of principal off, right? I'm earning a very solid amount of equity by staying in that house, right?
Well, you definitely pay more interest up front, but yes, 5 years
definitely. It's mostly interest up front.
Right.
Absolutely. I love the rate though.
Yeah, right. Couldn't get a better rate, right?
We would like.
I could like bring out like an amortization table and just talk about like how the process of paying off a house actually like works, but I don't think that this is the time and the place.
With my credit, I could not have gotten a better rate at the time.
But
I mean, the reality of it is moving out of that house and trying to stay in Northwest Arkansas near my medical professionals where I need to stay.
You have to stay.
I guess.
It's a very stupid idea. There is very little in the area. I might be able to get an apartment for $900 a month. I might be able to get a duplex for $1,300 a month, but paying $2,100 in and then having some of that being brought in by roommates, I'm paying as much to live in this house and build equity.
I think that makes sense.
As I would be giving it all to a landlord instead.
If anything, of course, I don't have the full financial history of like the last few years, but if anything that I know just from internet, this was the good choice.
Oh yeah, this is
the good choice. Yeah. And 30-year fix or 15-year fix, there's different philosophies on that. I personally go 30-year because I just feel like I can just make a better return on investment putting the rest of the money somewhere else. But either way, I'm totally okay with this. To limiting
depends
risk,
on what interest rate you have and like how the market's performing and all that type of stuff, but whatever.
Your position and knowing that the YouTube career can be, a quick whoop, I would have we made 1.3 million and we owed a total of 208,000. I wish we could have just taken care of this and lowered your risk profile over that time instead of doing the traveling and stuff like that. Where all my money's been going, I pay a little extra towards this on a monthly basis, but where my money's mostly been going is into cash flowing properties that then pay for this if YouTube goes away completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's I wish we were risk mitigating. Right. But instead of that, we were going into crypto.
So nobody ever liked this answer.
Okay.
Because it's not a good one. And nothing I'm about to say is an excuse.
Let's hear it.
But the headspace that I was in 2018 was not a very good one. And so I was not planning for a potential future because I did not feel that I had to.
Yeah.
No. He's going to do the thing.
Christmas, I had planned to take my own life.
Yep, he's doing the Boogie thing. That's a very Boogie thing to do. I think he also did that on the locale live when he got fired. I think he also did the Boogie thing where he talks about, oh, I'm not going to be here anymore, guys.
And I made it to that Christmas date, and I decided to postpone it for the dumbest reasons. Christmas Day, I'm sitting there alone. I have my dog in my lap, and my roommate's out of town. And I realized my dog's going to be sitting there with my dead body for 3 days. And I'm like, you know what? I need to wait. And I rescheduled to July 24th, 2018, which is my birthday.
Taking your
life. I thought in
life.
that process I would travel a lot so that my roommate and my dog, who'd never really bonded, would begin to bond. So if you look at my travel plans, in January, I spent a couple of weekends away. In February, it became 3-day weekends. And then in March, it became 4 days weekends. And by July, it rolled around. I spent 2 weeks in California saying goodbye to my friends with the plans of going home to end myself.
I'm very glad you did.
I ended up doing some, which I do not recommend, right?
Oh,
we don't casually do.
We saw his spiritual journey in Mike's documentary if you want to see that. Please finish my video first, though.
Did it under the I did that with the guidance of a shaman, and my original
I don't
trip
know if
was
that's really guidance, but okay.
in 2019, and I realized that I had to stay on the path that I was on. I realized that this was what for better or for worse, no matter how hard this was going to be, I had to stay here and do it. Now here I am 4 years later doing it.
Okay.
And it's not been great. It's not been. And I went home and COVID happened. And
well, I have a question for you for the future of this conversation and what we're trying to do here. Are you willing to, and I think it might be for like the true first time from just conversations I've watched preparing for this, and then obviously this conversation so far, are we willing to just let go of the past? The past does not define us. We are human beings that are on this life, have a life temporary on this planet, that we are growing, and let's look for the future.
Well, we are talking about the past. Like, we're talking about the financial decisions I was making in 2019.
No, I know, but when it comes to
what,
so
like, obviously
uploaded.
But if you're asking if I have personally moved on,
Well, are we willing to in this conversation? Like, are we willing to?
Sure, unless you ask me why I was making these financial decisions in 2019, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you.
Boy.
Right.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah. But when it comes to I uploaded this many YouTube videos then and stuff like that, like, okay, let's like, what can we do in the future? Just make this awesome, so that we can make sure you're financially secure.
But I had a nervous breakdown at the end of 2019.
Okay.
And I don't even think you could put this in your video, but I said something extremely inflammatory. I said that the people who had spent the last year harassing me, getting my sponsors to stop supporting me, attacking my fans, and attacking me personally. I said that they were worse than.
Do not pay somebody to build you a Shopify store, because I'm going to do it free with 20 handpicked products.
No, they're not.
Which is not a thing you can say. Right? It's also not true. It's hyperbole. I didn't mean it.
It is.
But I said this on live stream. Right? You can't take that back once the cat's out of the bag.
You in live stream.
Yeah, right. Which used to be extremely lucrative. I used to make $5 grand a month, $10 grand a month from live streaming.
Our internet never forgets.
Really good at it and really pushing it. I would live stream for 3 hours a night, 5 nights a week, 6 nights a week, and would bring home 5-10K sometimes.
I was talking to a very successful streamer a few weeks ago about you, and he thinks you can make like 20K a month.
If I can keep my foot out of my mouth, and that's something I have so much trouble doing. Even there, I mean, like, people. Probably rightfully so, but for whatever reason, I think I'm held to a standard that I don't know that I'm good enough for. I'm going to say stupid
you also
shit
react to
sometimes.
everything. You feed them. You feed them. I haven't opened TikTok in like 2 months.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, a lot of the things that you want to talk about.
The main thing. So Boogie is considered something called a lol cow, where you can milk them for laughs. And the reason why is because he reacts to it. That's why Chris Chan, DSP, all those types of people are lol cows. It's because they feed into it. They don't just brush it off, try to ignore it. If you feed into it, it's just going to make it worse. So basically, don't feed the trolls.
I've really changed since March in this last year.
What happened in March?
Again, I went into some really intense therapy. I combined it with the
I don't think that's a good idea.
Shaman. Okay. And those three things. If you look at the statistics, modern science is showing, I can recommend a documentary for anyone who's interested. How to Change Your Mind. It's available on Netflix. Have the capacity to cure post-traumatic stress disorder, which was my biggest issue.
Stop shilling this goop shit.
It's one of the reasons I was stuck in these negative thought patterns. And so with a combination of doing intensive twice-a-week therapy with a traditional therapist, while combining that with seeing a shaman and taking...
I guess as long as it's not just a shaman, but that's still weird to me. I don't trust that stuff.
Finally, right? And then you do that with the therapy, and you can learn from the actual therapist. And this last year, I've made such tremendous strides.
I doubt it, considering everything that happened after this.
A year ago, the egotistical, self-centered, extremely defensive man.
You think you're different?
Considerably.
Okay. Considerably. He's very much the same.
Here's how I know I'm different. I wouldn't have been here. If you had invited me to do this in December of last year, I would have laughed at you.
Why?
Because this is humiliating. This is difficult. This is hard. I have to swallow a tremendous amount of...
I feel like Boogie generally humiliates himself almost on purpose,
is it to look at every mistake you've ever made
and print
it out and be
no matter what kind.
Want it to be thousands of people to see.
Hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands, right?
Please.
You know?
I hope. Where I try to structure the most episodes is hopefully we end towards a positive note. That is, I hope so. That is where I want to go. Like the future and ending.
But again,
I feel like it hasn't happened as often
this was
as it used to.
A hard pill to swallow.
It's very brave,
right? But I'm telling you, never would have even considered doing
this. Stop shilling the drugs, man.
So could you tell me what this is, please?
This is either the car loan or one of the dumbest purchases I've ever made.
I'm not like monetized anyway.
This is the car loan.
Okay. We'll get to the dumb purchase soon.
Yeah, the dumb purchase was a dog.
Well, I have 2 dogs. They're great.
I spent way too much on a dog.
Yeah, no, I think
purebred miniature poodle.
Sure.
Which generally would cost you about $3,000 to $3,500.
Okay.
Holy shit.
I bought them in a pet store, so I paid $5,000.
How much money did you have at the time?
Oh God, no. One, buying from a pet store, generally they're like puppy mills, but treat the dogs horribly. So no, there. I'm not a big fan of buying dogs in general, unless if like a rescue has a fee just to help take care of the other dogs. I generally try to go more pound rescue, or I just know someone who needs to rehome a dog. I definitely prefer it that way. And in my experience, they're so much more affectionate. Well, maybe not like much more. They're very grateful. Like there was a Chihuahua that we rescued, me and my family, and he was the sweetest dog ever. And the family member who gave us to him, who had like rescued him from a horrible situation, he was so grateful every time that he saw him. He was the happiest to see him because he knew that he changed his life for the better. He was so appreciative. He was the sweetest little dog, best dog. R.I.P. Peanut.
About $108,000 in the bank.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
But again, I was in the mind that I needed to build credit, so I took out a loan.
What the? Is that the personal loan?
Yeah, that's the personal loan.
Dude, the best.
That's the loan. I mean, that's the loan.
That's the sinker name. It's the sinker name.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Boy.
So I'm gonna call this the dog loan.
That's the dog loan.
What's what's remaining on the car? Do you remember? Do you know what's remaining on the car loan?
And not for like medical bills, but to buy him? What the hell?
We either on the last payment or like the last 2 or 3, I think.
Okay, we
have to look it up for sure.
We might take a look into it. And the personal loan has about 1,000, right? Left on it, something like that.
That sounds right. Yeah. There is another small loan.
What?
There's a third one that you're seeing here.
Credit card?
No, it's a bed.
It's a what?
I had to get an adjustable bed for my back and leg issues, and my doctor insisted that I looked into getting one. So I took out pay like $500, $600 down, and then took out like
I know too many people who bought an expensive bed that they didn't need.
When'd you get it?
July.
Interest rate?
Hopefully, it was actually for medical reasons. I guess.
That's correct.
What's the monthly payment?
I wonder if you could have used an HSA if you had one.
So
that's the 112.
Yeah, Synchrony is usually a store finance.
Yeah.
Okay. Credit card I want to take a look at in a second. Could you pull up your credit card app for me, please?
Yeah. I think you've seen it already, but to show you, I only own like $900 on it, and it's just a utility card for the business. So it gets used and it gets paid off. It gets used and gets paid off.
Okay, that's how you're supposed to use cards.
Over the last couple of months, yes, because it's been more than I would have liked. But I plan to pay it off with this check on the 20th. So,
but it's only okay. It just scares me because it's only getting thinner, except for that spike.
Yeah. Well, that spike's going to pay off there's the.
We'll see.
Okay.
The credit card and the balance of like $950.
Okay.
Yeah, credit line available, $31.12.
Okay. $950 debt so far. But what about the dog?
Again, I am still trying to do some credit card stuff, so I will pay off a little bit.
Why do you give a credit score? You already have a house.
Because eventually I will have to sell that house and I'll have to move somewhere when I do. Right?
Why will you have to sell the house?
A $2,100 mortgage payment is really hard.
So you're saying you're not going to be able to afford the payment?
I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm hoping that
with roommates
I will,
that should be doable.
I'm always planning for the possibility that I won't. Right?
Late payment fee, October 31st. Late payment fee.
Yeah.
$25 late payment fee, December 1st. This just happened.
Yep.
Oh, me.
October was a very lean month.
Oh, and you have a brand new iPhone.
Dude, this phone was free.
Really?
Yeah, Verizon traded us an iPhone 7 for that.
Very important business purpose. Chick-fil-A. Lucky it was all the way back.
Dude, you eat. Don't
Chick-fil-A.
You eat? I eat.
Oh,
People
no.
eat.
Okay, this would totally go. Yeah, no, I missed this excuse a little bit because it's funny because Caleb gets upset. I had to eat, so I ate out. I'll put that on the bingo card. I'll definitely put that on the bingo card. The bingo card is coming. It's gonna be huge. It's coming in. It's coming on Monday. It's coming on Monday. I want to just run some tests.
I definitely eat. I eat a lot.
Nah, you don't have to eat out if we can't afford to live.
I can't cook for 3 people for cheaper than $12. I can't cook for 3 people for cheaper than $12.
Wait a second. Let me get my little handy dandy First of all, that was
okay. How much is my? I mean, just get like a packet of the Smucker's things. That'll work. Or a packet of hot dog buns. That's what I live off of. I think that's under $12. At least definitely for one meal.
3 people? You did not feed 3 people on $12.
Chicken sandwich is $5.
So you just got 3 chicken sandwiches. You didn't get any fries. You got nothing.
You feed 3 people on $5 in a hurry.
Deal. The chicken sandwiches, the chicken patties. We have HEB. I don't know what your version is, but you can get the fucking frozen chicken patties. Put them in the oven, and I promise they are individually less than $5. More of an individual
We have Walmart,
investment.
and they are not good chicken patties, and that is quicker,
so it's
more convenient, taste.
There we go.
On top of that,
So now there's more reasons.
It's affordable, right? We eat out 2 or 3 days a week. It adds up to $15.
days a week?
Yeah, 15,
That's a
30,
lot.
$45.
But
It
you
adds
can't
up
afford to pay the card.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Late payment.
Yeah.
It's not affordable if we can't pay the card.
Do I
Yeah.
look like the kind of person that's ever made sound decisions about food?
No, but that's why I'm trying to. That's why I'm trying to get
this,
it across.
But this is my weakness. This is always going to be my biggest weakness.
No,
Yeah.
no.
come on.
You just allowed yourself infinite excuses for the future.
Oh,
and
that's
try to
fair.
take
That's fair.
responsibility.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
actually
Call
true,
them
yeah.
out. Kill
Yeah,
'em.
so why not
Get 'em.
actually take responsibility? Say, hey, we cannot afford to live right now. We don't get to afford to go out and
But
get
since
that.
we're traveling, guess what we had for breakfast today?
What'd you have for breakfast today?
Chick-fil-A.
Could've-
We used the app, so they gave us free nuggets.
What about the continental
Okay,
breakfast
do
at
you
the
have it-
hotel?
I mean-
free.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's generally just a bowl of cereal.
Yes, and that's
It's
food that
not.
goes in your stomach.
I've been in a lot of hotels. The food's not great. I don't necessarily like the food, and they make you get up way too early for it. But they have like eggs, they have sausage, they have bacon, they have muffins, and they have cereal. There's a bunch of things at the breakfast. It's always like the same stuff. You can make a waffle. But yeah, no, there's way more than just cereal. Also, I love Chick-fil-A. I had that way too much in college. That was like my go-to comfort food.
Something for free. For free. You can't afford to pay this. Boogie.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
If there's anything I can get across in this episode for you to just walk away with, buddy, if we cannot afford to pay something, if we can't even afford to pay off the credit card, we're getting late fees and we're just getting.
Yeah.
I mean, I
can't go out to eat.
have a food budget of
Yeah.
about $300 a month, and we use that.
Groceries?
Oh,
It
okay.
includes
Does that
groceries most of
include?
the time, yeah.
Okay.
We do eat groceries at home. We have like some of the inexpensive
Okay.
meals we make. We make tacos. We make shrimp pasta. If I'm really feeling
And you keep
splurgy, we'll make
in
burgers
this
at home.
budget?
We eat at home
With
the
the
majority of the
Chick-fil-A?
time. Yeah.
I know, like the Chick-fil-A
Unfortunately,
has the app.
You just can't
that
afford to
rewards
probably
you,
go
but
out.
still.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. It sucks.
I mean, it's true. Yeah.
So okay.
But it would have been more expensive to drive back to Fayetteville and make a taco than it would have been to go to Chick-fil-A. today.
Just
But
go
you're
to
right, we could have eaten
Walmart
cereal
and get
at the
some
buffet.
stuff.
Yes, I
Yeah,
was
that's
about
true.
to. I was about to flip the. Kill me.
You don't need to bring the food from
Okay.
home.
What
You
I
can-
can't see is the interest accruing. Obviously, we have the late fees, but the mobile apps
Like,
love to try to hide how much.
Again, traveled a lot. Generally, whenever me and my parents would come to a new area, we'd go to the grocery store so that we could get some bread, so that we could just live off of PB&Js until we were going back home.
I mean, I just pay the minimum balance every month.
parents are
and
very
the minimum
frugal.
fee is generally
So
$20.
that's what you meant by paying it every month? The minimum balance, not
Sometimes
the
to
full?
pay off more. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really bad. If we hold a card that's accruing interest, then we can't afford to go out to eat once. We just can't
That's true. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
interest
So this
Yeah.
is this
being
will this
cycled.
will get paid off on the 20th with this
Okay.
huge
all of it.
all of it, yeah,
But-
the whole thing.
Uh,
Yeah.
Oh,
From the spike that came in AdSense from
yeah, because
from
it,
YouTube.
there's a
6,000
delay, isn't there?
hours, That's okay.
You don't
I mean,
get it right away.
7,800 is what we made in November, which was really awesome. I hope we can maintain that. But
Is this
it's
a debt
not.
the preferred club?
That's the house loan, right?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. It's my current checking balance. So that's what.
That scares me.
Okay.
Anything less than
Okay, that's kind of scary. Yeah,
Exxon,
definitely
fair.
scary.
Came down here. McDonald's, less fair.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait till you get to the Starbucks, then you're gonna get real mad.
I'm not one of those people that freaks out about Starbucks.
$5 every couple of days.
Yeah, no.
I love me a pink drink. I love me.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'll freak out about that because you can't afford it.
Yeah,
like I'm not one of those people that when people can afford it.
Well, I don't like Starbucks because of like a few things that they've done. Like they were like unnecessarily like mean to cops and stuff. So I generally try to stick away from Starbucks and just use like other coffee brands, but in general just buying coffee at a coffee store instead of just, I don't know, putting something in a Keurig or something. Generally just is way more expensive and doesn't really feel worth it to me.
Yeah.
Though I'm not like a coffee snob.
To survive.
Sure.
Cameo, I'm glad that came in. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a little extra.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Cameo.
$100.
You can pay him to save stuff.
Cameo.com.
StreamYard, we're paying for it.
Yeah,
barely made it back.
Yeah, it's necessary for the podcast. That's where we film.
Okay.
Utilities. Yep,
do they reimburse you?
Can't hate against no utilities. Same with gas. Walmart, you can never really tell what's being purchased from Walmart.
So most of my Walmart purchases tend to be meds. I'm on a lot of meds. The most expensive, which is my testosterone, which is $200 a month.
With your medical issues, do you think McDonald's, Papa John's, Starbucks, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, all being processed within a couple days' time is helping?
No.
It's not helping your wallet either.
No, not at all.
Why are you still doing it? If we know we're killing ourselves and we're financially killing ourselves, why do you think you're still doing it?
I think I wouldn't weigh 400 pounds if I knew the answer to that question.
Okay. Well, you obviously had discipline for a bit.
I don't know. I don't know if that therapy's really working then. I don't know, man. Like, I know that supposedly has a very traumatic past, but I don't know if that therapy's working, dude.
You did go through the surgery, which is very difficult.
Well, the surgery did its job, which is to say,
I mean, kind of.
It extremely restricted my stomach.
Well, it did its job.
It still
you
does
just
to this day.
didn't do your job.
In a lot of the American versions, don't they require you to lose a good amount up front before you have to do
that
it?
way you don't
so you
burst
had
your
the discipline
stomach
to do
open.
that.
Well, it was a lot easier when I walked into an emergency room with a blood pressure of 280 over 180.
Okay.
And they're like, hey, you're dying now. You're not dying eventually. You're dying now.
But you kind of are.
Okay.
I mean, you said you're not going to listen.
As unfortunate as this is the healthiest I've ever been.
Well, you said you're not. You don't feel like you're going to be here in your 60s.
Well, that's just the stark reality. When you've done what I've done to my body.
I mean, that's fair.
To me, that feels like now.
That's fair. I see it as 15, 20 years from now because that's what it is.
Certainly not. Well, you're 50. 60 is not 20 years from now.
Well, it was mid-60s is what we're saying, right? Okay. So that's 15, 20 years from now.
Starbucks.
Yeah, Starbucks.
Can't afford it. There's lots of Starbucks. Tokyo House.
If you didn't know, there's also like a reoccurring joke with streamers, where the chat will just occasionally say, "Oh, Boogie died," and the streamer will be like, "Oh, okay." Just because it's the boy who cried wolf. One day that's gonna actually be true, and no one's gonna believe him, because I don't know why that's a meme. I guess it's just because he's very unhealthy, but it's a dumb internet thing.
Business $90.
Business center.
Wow.
That one was right off.
Wow. Right off of what? Prime Video, Starbucks.
Why?
Starbucks. Not even a full month back yet. Starbucks is a lot. Arby's. At least get food that tastes like something.
Hey,
let
me tell you a little bit something about Arby's, okay?
Good fries?
They have very good fries.
Yeah.
But recently, I've been getting to realize the value that you get from Arby's is surprising how much food you get for your investment.
Which will I teach you about?
It doesn't taste good. I want to make it very abundantly clear.
Then what's the point?
But again, when you're feeding multiple people,
then just get groceries if you don't like the food.
It'll blow your mind. Burger King, Netflix, nothing good on there anyway. Starbucks.
Yeah,
I just
Burger King
Netflix,
sucks.
Actually.
Good lad.
I canceled Netflix.
I know he's talking
and
about the
I
Netflix,
canceled
but still.
Hulu, and the only thing I have now is Disney Plus, which we watch literally every day.
At least get the
Amazon
bundle,
Prime, which I pay for the shipping and for the things that we need anyway.
Starbucks. More Arby's.
It's all food. I mean, like I can save you all the scrolling. It's all food.
But we're not even halfway through a month. This is what I feared going in here. So
I'd like to see a pie
we
chart.
have a credit card.
I love the pie
We
charts.
have a credit card.
I miss the
and
chart.
we weren't able to do the math that we typically do. But I would not be surprised if you did not go out and have these $25 drops every single day. 12 to 25, something around there.
Yeah, it's almost we spend about $12 to $15
really does that
on
up.
food a day.
Let's call it 15.
Yeah, let's call it 15. That's actually very fair.
Let's call it 30. We could have paid off
let's not call it 30 days. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. We could have paid off half. Now you throw the Starbucks in there and you throw the business dinner in there. Even if you're writing it off, we probably could have paid off the credit card that is accruing interest and that we're missing fees.
Yeah, you definitely could have.
If we're getting hit with late fees,
that's the worst way. I mean, like,
then we're not getting Starbucks.
Any financial show on the planet will tell you if you're getting charged late fees or credit card interest or loan interest, then you can't be spending.
Then I'm struggling here. Do you care?
Yeah, because what's the point of being on the show if you already know what's wrong? What's the point? To get yelled at? You get yelled at all the time. Like, there's all types of people who dedicate their lives to yelling at you. What difference is the show gonna make? I guess it didn't make any difference. He didn't change, as far as I know. This is so pointless. It's just like a little it's just a little humiliation ritual. It's weird.
It's again.
Then stop. Be an adult. Act your age is what I would say.
I mean, that's fair. Again, food has not been a area that I have been very successful at controlling.
Trust me, I can't really talk about it either.
Dude, let me tell you.
But at least I can afford it.
I've taken bigger than you. Okay? All right?
Listen to me, dude.
I've eaten more than you at a buffet before.
Just please not in my bathroom,
all right?
please.
I appreciate that you think you know what it's like to be addicted to food.
He is, though. You can't be addicted to
Vance. If you can't afford to donate because of the wreckage of Joe Biden's economy, I understand and want you to take care of your.
I promise you don't.
I will be honest. One of my big struggles is on a daily basis. Like, I won't eat a ton during the day, but then I'll get something fatty, greasy, sweet, and then I binge a massive portion in the evening. That is my.
And sorry, I'm getting distracted with the political ads. I finally got one for the other side. I generally get the ad for Kamala for some reason, but now I got one for Trump. So I guess I'll also bring up one of the other things that Boogie got made fun of for was being a radical centrist, and he'd just say, like, as center as possible. But generally he'd have to do, like, really weird takes if someone asked him a specific question. Like, he'd say, like, he supports gay marriage, but, like, in, like, 10 years or something, just so that people won't die or something. That was weird. It's like, either you support it or you don't. It just sounds strange. Like, being center isn't a bad thing. I think it's good to keep in mind how the pros and cons that each side is offering. It's just more him going out of his way to just be as center as possible. This seems more like an act than being genuine. I think that's why people called him out on it.
Typical issue that happens, and I yo-yo 30-40 pounds constantly. I'll be good for a while and then I'll yo-yo. So I can't talk about that.
I mean, the only reason I'm not 600 pounds again is because the surgery is doing its job.
Can I ask how much you weigh?
400.
Okay. Well, good job.
My lowest ever
was... The surgery doesn't like keep you from gaining back your weight because you can stretch out your stomach. I guess I don't know exactly which surgery he got, but like I like watching this one dude named Sean of Steel. He does like 600-pound life reactions, and he talks about his like weight loss stuff. And yeah, no, you can definitely gain it all back. It just takes time to stretch out the stomach.
It was 330. I got back up to 400. This is where I stayed.
Yeah,
within a 20-pound variance. I've gone down to 380, and I've gone back up to 400.
Where does your doctor want you to be?
I mean, ideally, you'd like me to be my ideal weight of like 175, right? Like that's what anybody would want.
That's the difference.
We're talking knee replacement surgery when I get home.
How much is that?
I think it's not even. Hopefully Blue Cross Blue Shield will cover it. I pay $800 a month for the best insurance I can afford because I absolutely have no choice, right?
Yeah.
It's
you met your deductible.
Do what? I meet my deductible within the first like 2 months, most of the time.
Holy cow!
Lots of Amazons and Panda Express.
Yeah.
Gas. You must drive a lot.
We don't drive a lot, but we buy a tank a week, give or take.
So do you go in there and get a bunch of drinks then? Because I'm seeing like gas stations.
Oh no, I never. I don't go into. Yeah.
Because I'm seriously like 2 weeks back and I've seen like 5 gas stations.
Well, we did travel here. So we needed to fill up at home. We filled up here.
Yeah, but that was yesterday. Like I'm talking in the last 2 weeks. Starbucks, Burger King, Starbucks.
Oh, in the last
Domino's.
2 weeks, I was on my way to
Starbucks.
Last month, I was on my way to Cleveland, Ohio to finish this documentary. So that's probably maybe what you're saying.
I guess.
But no,
the documentary that we talked about, the one that everyone has seen.
Yeah, we generally fill up the tank once a week. It's a hybrid. You'd have to drive 555 miles a tank is what I get. So
okay, I'm struggling with the eating out once a day thing because now that I'm scrolling through here, I'm seeing about 2 to 3 if we're considering Starbucks and we're considering unless this is when they're hitting. But seriously, scroll here.
I think
like
that's when 13,
14. 15. Like these are just individual days, 16, and there's 2, 3 in each.
Well, I think that's probably more when they're hitting.
But even if that's when they're hitting, still, since this is sectioned out day by day and 3 are hitting a day, even if they're coming from a previous day,
like I said, we average about
like
$15 on fast food a day.
Yeah, but I'm also kind of struggling with that because if we go here, middle of November, Golden Corral, $62 at Golden Corral. But we'll call that an oddity, right? We went to Golden Corral.
I mean, it was. I invited somebody out to my editor, me and my friend Flint and my girlfriend went out.
Your editor? You pay your editor?
When I need to, yeah. When he's got a project that we need to work on.
Why aren't you editing your own stuff? You have time, I assume.
He's incredibly better at it, and so if I have an actual project that needs to get done, and he works for minimum wage for me, to be very clear, because he's a friend. So, but occasionally he'll get a business dinner to talk projects and stuff.
And then we're getting back to utilities, so we've gone close to a month. So minimum once a day. And then you throw an extra $5 from Starbucks on there as well sometimes within a day. Yeah.
Wow. So let's call it
every
20.
Other day.
Let's call it 20.
20.
But again, most of the time I'm feeding 2 or 3 people over this money.
But I got it. 15 is like that's like the minimum we're spending a day at fast food.
Let's call it at that point $600 a month on food.
Oh, 1 second. So minimum 15 a day plus probably 5 for Starbucks every other day, so 2.5 a day. Yeah. So then we saw about once a week, maybe twice a week sometimes, there's that Dave & Buster's, there's the Golden Corral, there's that other thing. So all of a sudden that throws off the average of 15 a day, turning it to what would probably be evenly distributed, $20, $25 a day, throwing the Starbucks maybe $30 a day on average.
Sure, yeah.
So if we actually start going off of that, and again, I wasn't able to do the normal math that I was able to do before most episodes, we're looking closer to like $900 a month. And I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's call it that then. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely room to cut. I include anytime I talk about these budgets online, I generally say 600 for the stuff, but 900 might be more realistic.
But you can't afford 600.
Wow.
That's true.
So you said you're feeding multiple people. I understand, obviously, girlfriend situation. Okay,
sure.
Who else are we feeding?
So again, my roommates mostly like to remain private. They're not on social media.
But do the roommates have jobs?
I do have some difficulty.
Can they pay for some food?
The arrangements that we've made.
Okay.
But in exchange for a lot of things that I physically cannot do. I can't mow my lawn. I can't get into the attic.
So you just pay them in food,
a lot of the things that are necessary to be done.
So in-house help.
That's right. So in exchange for in-house help, every once in a while, I get someone a sandwich. And if I were paying to get the lawn done, my house, it's way ridiculously more expensive than an Arby's sandwich. I would right. So the deal that I have set up with my roommates now, I'm saving a tremendous amount of money.
But when do you need to mow the lawn? Like 2 weeks, a month? So the Arby's sandwich, honestly, it still ends up costing more, doesn't it?
But that will occasionally include, hey man, you want to go out to dinner?
Or at least compared to like hiring a kid or something.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm never in a position, not to speak too much about my roommate's private business, but I could never imagine myself in that position where I would get paid so little and do so much to help a friend.
I wonder if he love bombs them or something. I don't know.
I can't do most of this.
Boogie comes off as extremely manipulative.
I can't.
And I think it's because of his traumatic childhood stuff, but still.
In that regard. And so, yeah, it's probably, I know it's a stupid investment, but since they're making such a stupid investment this way, I don't mind making a stupid investment their way.
Are they paying any rent?
Yes.
What are you getting?
Okay, why don't you just charge them less rent or something?
What Big Wireless does.
You know,
they charge you
that's how you're even.
We charge
you. Goodbye, Deadpool. See you next time.
Because that helps offset some of the budgetary costs that we're going to have to go into.
Do my roommates pay rent? There is compensation, not just in terms of things that they're able to do around the house and things that I cannot do, but there is compensation, yes. Okay. But it's not something I'm, again, they are private people. I don't want to get too much into their lives.
Totally fine. I do get that. And I want to make sure we're protecting privacy so that, nothing negative can happen. So that's fair. Have you ever downloaded the app Credit Karma?
I believe so. I don't have it on my phone currently.
If we could just get you to go through that, it'll take about 5 minutes. All right, credit score. We've jumped up.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what
yeah, like I said, I do know the tools to build credit. Someone sent me down to do it,
great,
and I'm trying to maintain the best credit that I can. Certainly, that's not in the 700s. There's plenty of room, right? Yeah. But considering my financial situation, if I needed a stopgap loan, which I hope I never do.
That's what emergency funds are for.
Right. Well, again, I don't have them, unfortunately.
Well, what's this actually? $7,732.
This is what's left of everything. That's everything.
Okay, but that is money.
That is money.
What's it in?
This is currently sending in Ethereum, and since I printed this off, it's actually worth more.
Yeah, but what have we learned?
Please move it into
we've learned that I don't think that market
index fund, into an index fund or something.
There's no way it's going to go to zero. It can't go to zero.
Sir,
it can't go to zero.
Sir, what have you learned about our money?
You don't take the loss until you sell.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
And also, it was also kind of smart to spread off the losses across multiple years so that I get that nice tax deduction.
Yeah.
Okay. Sleep number.
Okay, so I'll just say I worked in tax for a little bit, because if someone's paying you to do tax, generally they're a little bit more wealthy, and they totally lost farm. Like they lost farm like crazy, where you just purposefully take a loss so that you can write it off on your taxes. There's rules around it, and you need to make sure not to. I'm not gonna go into all of that, but yeah, no, that's a thing that people do.
1,218.
Was that the total?
Not 2,500. This is why I had. This
I guess it was more than
up.
that. Good idea. Okay.
And yep, there's the credit card as we saw. Lending USA. Here's the car. 6,472.
Is that what I have left?
Yeah, which is a lot more than you
so far 7,422.
Nah, this is why we do the little investigation.
Well, that's why. Yeah. Again, I ballpark this stuff in my brain. I've never looked this stuff up, so I'm glad we're looking it up today, so I know for sure.
Lending, personal loan, 3,448.
That's my dog. And do you want to know something? Most of that's in my life because I don't even like the dog that much.
What's wrong with you? One debt, it's about 11,000. Two, how do you not like a dog? Well, what's wrong with you? Do you have no heart? Like, unless if it's like aggressive and which is probably sad because it was probably abused, and that's probably why it's aggressive. But how do you not like a dog? What's wrong with you?
Really?
I love my first dog. He's like he's my soul dog. He's like the member of the family. The second dog, he's mostly just a dog.
There's no
he's a
such
good dog.
thing.
He's a really good dog. I really like him, but I didn't want a dog. I wanted another Sammy. You know.
Okay.
I got a Leo instead. But he's still a great
dog. That's so mean.
Okay.
That's so mean.
Your car payment.
This poor dog.
What are we down to?
$238 a month.
Yeah.
You're halfway through the loan.
Yeah.
We really sounded like we were much closer.
I thought I was. Again, I think maybe I don't have a solid understanding of how much interest I'm paying up front in some of these loans, because I thought I would have paid off considerably more of the actual.
Yeah, no, generally.
We took out a 5-year.
Generally, it's pretty interest heavy first.
Okay, so I'm going to steal from our friends at the money guy.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
you want to pay it off.
If you're going to take it on a car loan, no more than 8% of your income on a monthly basis goes towards it. You put 20% down every time,
which is certainly considerably less of that. I paid half,
and on a 3-year term.
Well, I paid half. The initial loan was 10,000 because I paid half.
Okay,
I paid half up front.
But yeah, if you're looking for more like intermediate financial advice content, because Caleb's pretty beginner. But if you want the next level up, Money Guys have a lot of good advice, and they're like actually like financial advisors. Because while Caleb does have his personal experience getting out of debt, he is technically not a finance person.
If I remember correctly.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
And then,
this is gonna be a long
video.
video.
The only reason I financed the back half because I had the cash, I could have spent it. It was before crypto even dropped. I should have probably done it, but the only reason is again to try to maintain this credit score. I have some small loans.
Your dog. Your dog.
$5,000. Yeah.
No, it thinks it's at 23.49% interest. Is what it says you are at. That's the loan.
So that can't be right.
Are you sure? That's what I think it is.
Is that even legal to make a 23% loan?
Oh yeah, there's people on my show all the time.
That doesn't seem legal.
No, that's very legal. That happens.
Your credit card's probably over 30%.
Yeah.
I mean, like
it's
the minimum payment is like $20 a month. So off of a balance of 1,000.
Because the minimum monthly
payment's $20 a month because they want that interest to continue to accrue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly.
Right. I thought I was paying all the interest off.
No. Oh,
well, the
buddy.
number's never broken over like 1,000. It's so
no.
God.
Okay, I'm understanding where we might be in terms of financial knowledge.
I kind of want to. I think it's a Dateline, but not Dateline. Like a PBS thing where they explain like a little bit of how credit cards work. And if you guys would like to see me react to that, I'd love to talk about it because there's like this evil genius in it who talks about like how he successfully made like credit cards so predatory and made like the systems that we have now. And it's also great because it was from quite a few years ago and they're like warning about how bad things are going to be. And like it's so much worse than their warnings. It's kind of hilarious in like a very sad way.
Well, that's not how it works.
Okay.
With credit cards.
Well, then educate me.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Well, the credit cards, we never want to hold a balance anyway. Because if we're holding a balance, whether or not you're making a minimum monthly payment, it's accruing interest unless it's in an interest-free period.
So if I were to pay anything off first, it's clearly this dog loan. That's got to be right.
What was 986
could be the credit card
down for that?
I think that's just the credit card balance.
Oh.
And again, that's a secured credit card, so I don't think the interest is very high. It's secured with $1,000 CD.
Oh, here, let me find
out.
Yeah, what did tell them? Because I think I made a smart financial decision with that credit card because it is a secured card. It's financed, secured with $1,000 CD. So my understanding is the interest rate was going to be very, very low on it.
Can you bring up the credit card again?
Yeah.
So now we have a full picture of your debt.
That could be interesting.
Right.
I've never heard of that.
What's good is it looks like you don't have anything in collections or anything, which is good. No. So, I mean, that's, I feel like that's potentially next steps if we have to drain. Okay, so the $7,732 that's in Ethereum, this is just a daily graph. Where was that at some point, and you've been withdrawing from it to survive?
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, if you see in the documentary, in February, this was 30,000, but I've had to withdraw from it.
This year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, if this was a 401k, it'd be considerably harder to have tapped that money when I needed it.
Well,
boy.
It would have certainly been more secure, and I wouldn't have lost 75% of it overnight,
But over the years, if you were putting money into the solo 401k instead of this, you'd have been saving a lot on taxes anyway.
Sure.
Tax benefits with that.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't want you to withdraw and take penalties from that anyway. Loans against it. Wouldn't want you to do that either, but
401k loans are really bad in terms of taking them out. They can set you back pretty hard if you need to take them out.
I think a lot of it, we're going to create your budget, but what is very clear, if we're doing $900 a month eating out in different forms, we could pay these debts off very quickly.
So my interest charge for this is $19.59 for $1,000 budget, for $1,000 balance. So what's that come up to?
Let's see.
24%.
Well, then I'm paying that off immediately.
Yeah, that's what I'd pay off immediately because you can pay it off by not eating out for literally a single month.
Then how much
it's
is
still
left
lower than
on
average, but still.
The dog loan we're sitting at about $3,448. So and the bed is also $3,219. Can you bring up Credit Karma again? Because what I can see is the bed interest rate.
Right.
Because I can also
again, how they got me on the bed is number one, it was medically required.
Yeah.
And then secondly, I'm like, I can't afford to pay for this in cash, so I have to get it.
Usually a lot of beds though, you can get 0%.
Yeah.
You said
I did for like
true.
6 months or something, I think.
Well, in that case, you figure out what's the minimum monthly payment required to pay it off in 6 months. Right. But of course,
yeah,
you tell me. I don't know. I pulled the trigger. I found one, President's Day sell, whatever.
Don't look at this. You have outstanding approval odds on 2 credit cards and 3 personal loan sections.
Oh, I would never take out another. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Please don't.
We'll see.
Yeah, never.
But yeah, with the you got to be smart if you want to game the system with the 0%. Because also keep in mind, a lot of the 0% stuff, especially like the credit cards, will like back pay. Well, if you don't pay them off in time, they'll like back charge you all the interest that you would have owed as if it wasn't 0%. So be very careful with those types of cards and that type of financing. Just make sure that you know what you're signing up for and probably try to pay it off before the interest starts accruing.
We don't need you to have to come back on.
Nope.
The next time I have you on, I want it because you've paid off.
I mean, give me credit for one thing. I keep it paid if I can.
I think there was like another. I think in This Week in Money or something. I think Caleb called Boogie up to be like, "Hey, bro, why'd you scam your customers with the crypto, bro?" But I haven't really seen that one all the way through.
If it's at all humanly possible, like if a bill is due, the bill gets paid.
No.
If you're interested in that, credit cards. I don't know if it's
like
interesting.
The loan payments get made.
How can I give you that due?
Nothing's defaulted, at least.
I can't give you that credit though. If there's if one of any of the things are not being paid, I can't give you the credit of making the payments. See that, and I think maybe. Again, one of the reasons I pat myself on the back for this and why you never would is because growing up, we had things repossessed all the time. Cars repossessed, televisions repossessed, furniture repossessed, because everything was bought on credit, right? Yeah.
And so that was such a commonplace. I feel so happy and secure that I can pay my bills. I feel so happy and secure.
I guess that's
no, they are getting paid. I'm paying my medical card. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I will say, I will acknowledge I'm extremely lucky. I have amazing parents, and my dad taught me about being frugal and being smart with what you do. And yeah, no, he loves talking about money. That's one of his pastimes. That and obsessively playing Pokemon Go. But my dad has a lot of advice, so I really do appreciate having someone to go to, and I can always ask questions. And it makes me really sad that a lot of people don't have that. So hopefully this channel I can pass on what he says to me, and hopefully you guys get a little bit of that, because I know that financial education isn't necessarily that high nowadays, it's concerning. But they also say that might also prep up our economy, which is kind of scary.
Okay. It's not finding the interest. Do you have the app for it? Do you know that?
I do, I think.
Oh, if you have the app for it, we could probably
I think it's straight through Sleep Number, maybe. I think this one was.
Oh, it's a Sleep Number? Did you have to?
Buddy, those
are expensive.
If 4 of these bad debts, I'm considering the house a good debt. If the other 4 bad debts,
mortgages,
just absolute debt was out of your life, it lowers your risk profile immensely.
Yeah.
It lowers your minimum monthly payments immensely.
Well, that's where I want to get.
Has an interest in shit.
I'm trying to do.
Yeah. But it's going to take some things that I'm concerned you might not be willing to do.
Yeah,
to be completely honest,
probably.
But, I mean, that's up to you. We'll talk about that. And
you'll there's another financial plan we'll get into in a minute, and I think you're going to be excited
you have your own.
Oh, boy.
You're going to laugh when I say it, though, and your audience will laugh.
I would also just rather you be, like, financially, like, safe than give me a good segment.
Yeah.
Well, it's both.
Okay.
It's both.
In the end, you're a human being, man.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So the spike makes this a little hard, but across the income sources you gave me, we are having an average of $4,269.96. Now,
that's right. That's right about where it is. Yeah.
But it's
question. Are you setting 30% aside for taxes?
Okay. Oh yeah.
Right. What are you doing? What did you do these last few quarterlies when quarterly payments?
I literally can't afford to make quarterly payments. So
no. Okay, so again, going back to taxes. Okay, so let's say that you own your own business, right? Or you're self-employed. Well, business stuff, you still got to pay taxes. And you got to pay them quarterly. If you don't pay them quarterly, then each quarter's amount has interest on it that you now owe the IRS. In addition to, like, fees for not paying them on time. So generally, the IRS loves to give you some penalties if you're not paying them on time. So probably screwing himself even worse by not setting aside for taxes.
That's the time.
Okay, and there's penalties for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. If you can't afford to do them quarterly, how are we going to do them annually with penalties?
Yeah.
I think this year I'll end up having to set up a payment plan with the U.S. government.
What'd you do for last year?
Oh boy.
We haven't talked about it much.
What?
It was a fairly reasonable sum.
It was paid?
No.
Come on.
I'm about $2,200.
Okay, now we're in about 13,000.
It's a very important piece of this debt.
It is.
It's interesting because the episode that's coming out before yours was another YouTuber who did not pay his taxes.
Which one? Darkside Phil.
Oh
yeah, that'd be great.
No, it's a YouTuber that doesn't upload anymore. He got to 100,000 subscribers and then quit.
No, there's only the 1 year.
I would love to see Darkside Phil. Oh my gosh, that would make me so happy. There's a few videos on him that's interesting. I don't like how they got the information, to be honest, because it kind of involved identity fraud. But the financial information that it did uncover is interesting, I will admit. Like, he spent tens of thousands of dollars on a WWE gotcha game, and then tried to write him off on his taxes, and also included that in like bankruptcy filings. And I guess the government just hasn't like found him out or something. I'm surprised that people have got to have turned him in. But hopefully for Phil's sake, I guess he doesn't get caught. I don't know.
I've just been waiting for him to knock on the door, get it solved. But at the beginning of this year, I was not in a position where I could do it. I'm like, I have to make it till the stock drops, and let's see if there's a spike that comes with it, and I'll pay it then. And that's the world we're in now. Yeah, dude.
Bro,
well, you had 30
don't
in
get the
crypto.
checks away.
You could have paid it.
I could have, but I knew I looked at, and this is a terrible way to live.
I haven't had Chick-fil-A in a while.
I looked at it. I can pull this out of crypto now.
Probably not going to be able to for a while because I'm trying to be lean
so I would
while I
rather
do
stay
the
in the
YouTube
house
thing.
until I have to leave it.
Yeah.
And continue to build equity, and maybe I'll never have to leave it. But if that one if I pulled this 2,000 and paid the U.S. government, which I know they're patient. I owe the money. They are very patient. The U.S. government.
I don't know about that.
They also have the guns.
Yeah. Well, but I'll tell you, having had this.
So the IRS, they don't generally come with the guns too often, because I think it was. I want to say either because some agents got shot. No, I think it was someone tried to set an IRS agent on fire, and because of that, the IRS doesn't really do house calls anymore. So that's interesting. The IRS is really weird.
Very similar problem in my 20s with a small business collapsing. Yeah, and owing them $1,500 then.
Interesting.
They were very eager to work with you. They're like, just give us anything.
What was the small business?
The U.S. government works slow, and
the
believe it or not,
thing or something else?
Surprisingly cool when it comes to owing them money.
I doubt that. No,
many people
I don't.
have had different experiences.
I've
never heard someone being there chill other than Boogie.
Payment plan. They're literally like, what can you afford? I'm like, well, I'm on disability now. So what do you think I can afford? Like, can you afford to give up 10% of that? And I'm like, no. I can't give 10% of $850. I'm living off of $850.
What if they knew you were spending $900 a month on fast food?
Yeah.
I mean, they probably would be. Do not send us to the IRS.
I wonder if anyone did.
Probably not great.
Got to have. They've got to have.
I mean, they know. The
Boogie trolls are very dedicated.
They have access to my credit card records, right?
I'm just saying if there's one people
I'm not like sure if they're like DSP level of
but they know.
Dedicated, but still pretty dedicated.
I mean, we've had not for sums of 2,200, but there's been people in the media industry in general who have, not paid taxes. They've gone to jail.
If you owe them a significant amount of money, then they do not consider $2,000.
I know, but that's all I'm saying is like
it's because that's also keep in mind like administrative costs and all the things that they'd have to do just to collect that. So yeah, generally 2,000 probably wouldn't be worth their time, but still.
Well, this isn't all roses and butterflies.
The best I can get for you on this loan is that it was 0% for 24 months, because that's pretty much standard on the website.
Yeah, when did you take it out?
July.
Okay, so we're in the 0% interest period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, when are you going to pay it off?
That's good to know.
Or no, June.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, June. Sorry, I was panicking. I was like, because
you almost sent me into one.
I got it before you. Yeah, so.
Okay.
It should work.
Want to know how to turn your viewers into shoppers? It's simple. In Shopify. Every time I feature
skippity ad.
We're working on that.
Okay, because that's not required to. We're not married, anything like that. If we are married, that's a conversation of what do we need to be as a future? How do we hit financial goals? We might need to work, obviously.
The majority of her everything is taken care of, but the one thing that she's not doing is bringing income in.
Yeah,
but she's costing pretty much nothing going out.
Okay.
Okay, let's capture some.
Assuming that you don't have to pay for a divorce and you just do like Elvis wedding, you get so many tax benefits from getting married. By the way, so many tax benefits. Just get married. Get the tax benefits.
Some of your other things. We have Verizon 222.
Do what?
The Verizon 222.
Yes, we got two.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you have your phones financed? iPads?
It gotta be.
Apple Watches?
Not iPads, no.
Verizon's expensive.
There is, Verizon's expensive. There was like a $500 balance after trading on that phone on this one. So we are paying that off. But that is, again, at 0%.
You're going to hate it because, Verizon is like the best nationwide, but when we just can't afford to live, like Mint Mobile.
I didn't know what that is.
Ryan Reynolds, Mint Mobile?
I don't watch commercials, man.
Okay, well, check it out, dude. I'll text you a link. It can be like $30 a line.
Yeah, this is before Caleb was working with Helium instead, because now he talks about Helium instead of Mint.
Let's pay off this phone before I get there. But yes.
So wait.
Yeah, like I said,
the phone was $0.
It added up to like there was a balance of $420 spread across 24 months.
Okay.
But it's 0% interest.
I know, but we can't switch to another carrier.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, there goes saving $150. All right.
Yeah.
Car insurance? Yeah.
Gotta have car insurance.
Gotta have car insurance.
Yep.
The YouTuber,
don't want
the other one I was talking about, who didn't pay his taxes, does not have car insurance. Very bad.
I didn't for the first 30 years of my life.
Tickets and maybe arrested.
That was not good.
Do you have what the fuck is? Oh, yeah, $775 is your minimum monthly for insurance.
Holy cow!
That's Blue Cross Blue Shield keeps me alive. Unfortunately,
that's a lot
for them. They are losing a lot of money on this. I can tell you that they are spending way more than I'm giving them at this point.
Yeah, like 15 years ago, you may have not been able to get health insurance at this point.
I couldn't. Yeah, if it wasn't for the Obama administration that made it possible for me to purchase insurance as a self-employed person, I would never had access to health insurance.
Okay. So how many people do you have to buy groceries for, like every day type thing?
Me and her.
Just you two?
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
We do have somebody that again will cook for free as long as they're eating. So we do take advantage of that. So generally means we're cooking for 3 most of the times.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I would try to get it to the 2 with some cooking getting done. So what we did on our grocery store website, our local grocery store, HEB, you can probably do this on Walmart, I assume. We created like a meal prepping thing for each week, 2,500 calories a day per person, plus snacks. We sorted the recipes for what we needed for each meal by
I should point out that when we eat at home, we eat cheap. We eat more sandwiches than we eat anything else.
Okay. Yeah. Well, either way, sort the ingredients by cheap, and then do like a pickup order for it, which can be free depending on the store. And that way you're not going through the aisles, you're not picking up everything. And we had for a single person with snacks and desserts, 2,500 calories a day, good eating, $250 a month.
That's
comfortably.
That's incredible.
Comfortably, but most people aren't, willing to get into the nitty gritty of it. Name brands.
Honestly,
eating.
I think that does line up with what because I got a roommate, so yeah, no, that sounds about right.
A unique meal every day, and I want everyone to be able to do that. I want everyone to be able to do that. With you, when we can't afford it,
everything in our house is great value. 100% of the time. Because number one, it's a huge waste of money. The food doesn't taste different. The products aren't any better.
It's possible that because with store credit cards, if you buy like their products specifically, generally they'll have good cash back. So it might actually be worth it to get a Walmart credit card as long as you like pay it off immediately each time that you use it. That might not actually be a bad idea.
Secondly, we're in Walmart country, right? Like so.
Might as well, yeah.
If you're not by the local brand,
headquarters there.
You're kind of a trader in our area, but yeah, at least that we're already doing that.
Yeah, all I'm saying is I could get you guys $450 a month in groceries for you too, with aggressive meal.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right.
Now I have something called the toilet paper fund. This is just whatever else is needed to survive the household.
400.
So it's the toothpaste, the toothbrush, whatever is needed.
Sure.
It could even be like some car maintenance. Everything's gonna ebb and flow on a monthly basis. I'm gonna put $150 there.
Sure.
Medical on a monthly basis, medications. What is coming out on average?
About $1,500 for health insurance and medication.
Oh, okay. Not health insurance.
Over,
just medication.
Now we're doing
just we still have some remaining.
Well, I guess I could subtract the health insurance.
So
700.
Yeah, in the neighborhood, 500 to 700 depending on the month.
Okay, so 600 if we average.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me figure out your debt.
Okay, so now
including mortgage.
He's losing money every month.
Let's do mortgage separately, including property taxes and insurance.
So, is the mortgage just what he's paying? Because are they subtracting from like? I thought that the roommates were contributing. So if the roommates are contributing, does that bring the mortgage down of at least of what he needs to worry about? Or is the 2,100, is that just his portion? because for a house that size, and he's been paying off for a while. Yeah, I don't know.
Through utilities on this or not? I can't remember.
I did not see you.
They should have been in some of the screenshots.
Here it is.
I think water payment is in here.
So this is water, gas,
water, electricity. Oh, sorry, no, that is water and trash removal, and that's it. That's what the city charges. It sucks.
Considering
so you have
what this looks like here, he really can't afford to go out to eat.
Electricity is a whole other bill, which you should have here as well.
So this is just trash.
Yeah,
and
our city is highway robbery.
Wow,
it's insane. That's trash and water.
Do they compensate it with low property taxes at least? Like we get hammered with aggressive.
Our property taxes are better.
Okay, how much in electricity and gas then?
Depends on the month.
Yeah, give me your average.
They should be printed out for the last month here. I think I sent them to you. I think the last month in electricity was $250.
Yep. It was a little more than that, but yep.
And then what was the other one you're asking about? Gas, I think, comes out to in the winter close to 150, in the summer down to as little as 50.
This is gonna be bad. Are you sure that the roommate doesn't pay for any of the mortgage shown here?
What was the other one?
Otherwise, this is gonna be like $1,000.
We do pay for cable, which is $100 a month.
I'm sorry,
not cable. Sorry, internet, which I'm a YouTuber.
Yes,
right.
Well, everyone, you need internet to survive, to do jobs, to do anything.
Right. $99 a month. We got a really good deal when it comes to internet. That's for a gigabit, and this is the slowest they offer. So I can't even get it cheaper if I wanted to.
Let's see.
Let me get the debt minimum monthly payments besides the mortgage.
Oh, that's not even in there yet?
Not including whatever the IRS might be, because we don't know yet.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah, this extra $653 could clear you, not clear you up, but it would help a lot.
Yeah.
Holy cow, look at that.
I ballpark,
look at that.
And like I've said publicly, right around $7,000 for like minimum payments across everything. Is that about close to what you got?
I don't know just yet. I want to make sure we've got everything that you're required to have. Gas. Wow. How much do we think on a monthly basis?
Like I said, gas in the winter is because it's
car gas.
Oh, very little. I drive a hybrid, so
okay, but it sounded like he was gone
$80 a month
to the gas station quite a bit when he was looking through his statements.
And say 80.
Yeah.
Anything else that you are required to take care of on a minimum monthly basis? There were subscriptions like StreamYard and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's like a $25 subscription to StreamYard.
Any other subscriptions that are mandatory? Mandatory. I'm not throwing Disney Plus in there. I'm sorry.
I think I could.
I'm just trying to get your mandatory in order to survive type.
Yeah.
Streamlabs might count, but that's $9 a month.
Okay, so 35 then.
Let's call it that. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
I think that's everything.
Okay.
Wow.
I've done a really good job of canceling everything over the last few months.
How many miles is on that car?
This is
12,000, I think now.
This is a
I had to take a lot of road trips.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I bought it with
12,000 is nothing.
I bought it with less than 1,000 miles on it.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I might be wrong. It might be closer to 18 if I'm ballparking it.
Yeah, but it's a Toyota. It should probably last for a while.
It's under 20 for sure, I think.
I'm happy about that though. It doesn't mean we have to worry about anything too major happening soon.
No, they say one of the reasons I bought this car is like all the YouTube reviewers said this specific year and that specific model. They said
even if his roommates are helping out, it looks like he's still gonna be negative. Like best case scenario, that's split like 3 ways. The 21-21. So yeah, no matter what, he'd still have this. Even if he's only paying a third of this, that would be like he'd still be like 700 under what he needs to bring in.
Yeah, well over 150,000 miles before you even start to see issues. So, and I knew it would take a lifetime for me to put that on it, even with trips like this.
Holy cow,
for business and stuff.
This is gonna be a long episode, guys.
I'll never put that much mileage on it.
So the fun thing with the serpent is, how does a serpent talk? And not only that, but why is the serpent's punishment to crawl?
There we go.
5,856 in order to survive. So a little under. But that's because I think we're throwing in less wants. You said in your budget you had like 900 for food or something. It's like if we get rid of wants, only just basic survival, which is what you should be on, because again, we still bring in $1,600 less on a monthly basis than we need to survive.
And we're real close to that being 0.
Yeah. So
I do have one thing we haven't included here.
Oh boy.
And it is the other backup plan that I've had, which is so incredibly stupid.
Go on.
Okay.
I started playing a card game called Magic the Gathering back in 1994.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to talk about selling
purchase
cards.
a lot of cards at a time.
Yeah,
that
I remember
they are worth a lot. So I have cards that have been my backup plan for the entirety of my life, right?
Yeah.
Since 1994, I'm like, these cards continue to accrue value. The bottom will fall out eventually. Here we are 31 years later, and they've gone nowhere but up. I generally get about 70% of the value of what a card's worth. And so, for example, I was gifted a card for 9 years ago for my 40th birthday. They paid $80 for it. It's currently worth about $2,700. So I do have additional assets.
Can you give me conservative value of your entire collection? Conservative.
Extremely conservative would be, I bulk sold it tomorrow.
Yeah.
50K. But my plan is to continue to do what I've been doing over the last year, which is sell it periodically to survive, right?
Yeah.
Because with the exception of the COVID bubble hitting this market, and I wouldn't have sold during COVID.
Yeah, I really hope that he has those cards insured, or at least has like record of which cards he has if someone tries to steal them.
These cards have continued to maintain value. So I sell them as I go. Now I'm learning today from you that I should absolutely go home, sell $10,000 worth, and throw it at these high interest loans.
Because they're probably not appreciating 25%.
Yeah.
No, certainly not. Certainly not.
Because the crypto, and it's in crypto, so one, I would just have this in a high yield savings account anyway.
Because Boogie's also
it's going to last
with
5 more months.
That's kind of
the
funny.
max. Yeah. If it stays this value, you never know what can happen with crypto. 5 more months. So,
and I wasn't lying. It's gone up since I sent it to you, right?
Yeah.
We made a couple bucks.
I would sell that.
It's on the climb. Do not invest. Do not invest.
Invest, but not in that.
Not in crypto.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So with the bad debt that we have, this is what I would do today. Tomorrow, because you get home tomorrow. But high interest bad debt debt, including I'm putting the IRS in there, man, because it's about to get to be like death interest.
Yeah, they'll knock on the door.
Yeah, and I would rather knock on their door before they knock on yours.
That's fair.
I would sell $16,307.88.
How much?
Wow.
$16,307.88.
That's pretty doable.
That wipes out IRS. It wipes out credit card. It wipes out the bed. It wipes out the car, and it wipes out the dog. Loan, not the dog, but the car. You, in your situation, not having a car debt, leverage on a depreciating asset, lowers your risk profile immensely.
Okay, extremely stupid question.
Yeah.
It's my understanding that I should maintain some loan to continue to build credit.
Sure.
I don't think you need to.
So, because I do think relocating, selling my existing home, buying a cheaper one is something that will still be in my future, even with this.
So you'll still have your mortgage.
If I were to keep a loan, is the mortgage count?
Oh, absolutely.
Is that the one they're looking for?
Well, they're looking for everything. They're looking for diversification. They're looking for age. They're looking for low balances. They're looking for on-time payments. What I would do in your situation is obviously keep the mortgage because it's a low rate. It's great. Getting rid of the other loans, even if your credit score takes a hit because the age goes down, doesn't matter anyway, because right now your credit score in what exists within it of taking out debt is taking advantage of you. You're not taking advantage of it. So there's really no purpose right now of you like shooting for that good credit score because this is you. What I would do potentially, you're not a credit card person.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you can't manage it. You're not paying the payments.
Probably.
But if it is that important to you, the one thing I might consider.
He hasn't said that as often, though. You're not a credit card person. I might still put that on the bingo card, but I feel like that might apply more to earlier episodes. But yeah. Can use the bingo card on like probably the old and the new ones because I'll probably do some more of these retro ones. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do them every Tuesday and Thursday. I might do like some other variety stuff, but we'll see.
Can prove to yourself over the course of 6 months that you only put gas on your credit card and you pay off the entire balance every month.
That's smart.
I will concede that you're allowed to do that.
I want to do Taquito Man. I need to do Taquito Man.
That in the mortgage, man. You'll be in
the... Caleb just teased that Taquito Man's coming back, and Taquito Man is just freaking crazy. He's where the Taquito meme came from, where Caleb calls just going to like a gas station and buying like little stuff, taquitos, because of this man who couldn't live without his taquitos. I'll have to go into him and his like trying to murder someone and all his weird stuff. He's more threatening to murder someone, but still, that's a whole different situation.
The 700s credit score wise,
okay,
should be chill.
Okay.
It should be chill. You might get a hit for a bit because your overall credit age is going to go down because some accounts are going to close for paying them off.
Right.
But honestly, with your credit card getting paid off, even with those, I wouldn't be surprised if it jumped to about 700 anyway.
Oh, nice.
Because, one of the main...
I know that one's good.
I debated even talking about this, and I don't know if it'll make the final cut or not. But one of the major reasons I want to make sure that I can take out a loan is because there's a very real chance...
Oh, is he going to talk about like burial or something?
Mm-hmm. And for the thing that I'm dealing with, you have to pay up front.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. No. Well, of course, obviously, I mean, death over life. Life comes first. Yeah. So, I get your fear around that. Yeah, I think your credit score again will actually be in a better place because right now what's holding it back looking at your credit is a high credit card balance. You know, you want to be under that 30% utilization. If we just have you swiping your credit card on gas, paying off the balance every month, and having the mortgage consistent, you're gonna have
that's probably the best you can do.
Score.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, are we talking 800s? No, but like you'll be in the 7s.
Right.
So,
and I think when we're looking at this minimum structure, I think my income in the last 30 days has been enough to cover that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And this
YouTube alone, right?
Right.
Yeah.
This podcast is going to start paying out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just hit profitability in the 3rd episode. That's incredible, right? My cut is small, 25%, right? But I own 25% of this thing.
I think it started not doing as well until like the recent
abroad, I still do have
the recent drama,
like papers and assignments. So I'm currently in my 30s.
So,
and I foresee being able to.
I mean, and it looks like going back to the conspiracy theory that he actually does have cancer. He just refuses to show evidence of it. This is definitely helping the lolcow podcast, the whole drama thing, because so it seems like he definitely needs the income from the lolcow podcast. So yeah, that's very interesting. I think that's very interesting. That's all I'm gonna say.
These minimums.
I could see it being either, by the way, that he's faking it.
I don't know if it get
or
better
that he's not faking it. Either way, I think it's for attention.
I think I'm in a position right now after the doc coming
just
out,
because of how he's handling it,
and everything else. I think I'm in a position where I reach these minimums. I won't have much wiggling room after that, and it'd be a really good idea to pay all of this down.
You need to tomorrow.
Yeah, right, exactly. As soon as I get home.
But the minimums don't matter for then spending an additional $900 going out to eat, and then whatever else, the extra. Yeah. Unnecessities are unnecessities right now. If we can't,
I'm sorry. I just find it funny that I'm essentially accusing Boogie of having cancer and not telling people, which is this sounds really dumb. But that's the conspiracy. I just can't get over that. I know I mentioned this before, but I just think that's so dumb. That's so dumb.
Afford it. We currently can't. So what is required through again a anonymous call center job, something that pays minimum wage, building that podcast or abandoning the Twitch and everything like that and fully focusing on re-engaging YouTube, whatever it might be, man, that brings you to at least.
I mean, that's been the plan over the last 30 days. You literally what I've been doing over the last 30 days since this documentary dropped, and you can see it's paying off, right? Like my numbers continue to grow. My income is continuing to grow. I'm doing exactly that.
I guess.
All of this ancillary stuff is ancillary. It's
okay. I had to go back a little bit because a door salesman went and interrupted the video. So now I have to edit. So thanks, dude. Making it harder. Damn it. Oh well. I moved the video back a little bit. Let's hope I didn't go too far back.
I mean, that's been the plan over the last 30 days. You literally what I've been doing over the last 30 days since this documentary dropped.
Okay, so he's talking about specialization in YouTube.
Right?
Okay.
Like my numbers continue to grow. My income is continuing to grow. I'm doing exactly that. You know, all of this ancillary stuff is ancillary. I have it all in a link dump, and other than live streaming once a week just for the fun of it, because I enjoy doing it, I don't live stream. I put my time where the cash cow is, and that cash cow is YouTube's ad revenue. And my favorite part about that is I'm not making money off the back of my audience. They don't have to buy a t-shirt.
Okay, and as he says this, he is now in his last controversy was shilling a shit coin to his audience and then making off with like a few, like maybe $10,000 for was all he had to show for it, and like the people who like set it up made like a few million or like $1 million or something. And bro, what the hell?
Engage with the sponsor. They don't have to buy a channel membership. Like, they don't have to donate.
I mean, I feel like people should know now not to engage with shit coins, but I don't know. I guess it's kind of blaming the victim, but I don't know. My sympathy whenever people get greedy kind of unreasonably is lower. Like, I love the TV show American Greed, but there are some times where like the victims of the Ponzi scheme is like, bro, what did you think was going to happen? Let's be honest.
Anything on Twitch, all they have to do is put the video on, click it, watch it, and I make money, and that's as simple as that.
A lot of the criticisms that I personally saw, and you can refute them if you wish. This is just there's too much information online.
Sure,
it's impossible.
That's a lot.
But a lot of I saw is again like the pity party, sympathy feast over the last few years, and maybe that turns the people off, and maybe it's to get people to give some money. I'm not sure. Are we done with that?
Yeah, I've
probably
been
not.
done with it for a while.
Good. So we just
I learned very quickly my decision to talk about my finances last year. That is not how I'm going to get out of this hole.
Yeah, probably not.
I cannot, nor should I, want my existing audience or my pre-existing audience to want to dig me out of this hole. Now,
here's the thing. It depends on what's going on. Like, there have been people who have asked their audience for help, and it's been received far better because it's generally they have the goodwill of their audience, and they haven't like had controversies that have pissed off their audience. So I think it's more just your goodwill meter has been spent, so you just might not be able to do the crowdfunding for. Well, as if you had stayed in people's good graces, you might have been able to do the crowdfunding route. To be honest.
Whole other thing if I create
I'm not saying that's justified,
content that they want to pay for, right?
Yes.
If I give
that's
value,
kind of how it goes.
You give value. Most YouTubers give value. That was the thing that I was missing from my video last year.
Yeah,
I asked for something, but I offered nothing in exchange. That was the idiocy of it. And I'm at a point where I can't ask for anything up front from my audience, nor should I, nor do I want to, right? I have to deliver a product that they enjoy, and if they enjoy it, then they can catch me on the back end if they so choose to. And I don't blame a single person who chooses never to do that, right? If you said Boogie's burnt that bridge, I fully understand and respect that.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. The thing I think I learned from the internet more than anything, I was playing, I don't know, I heard it called I'm Just a Small Bean the other day. Do you know if you heard this, right?
Like
growing up for me, it was, you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? I was being Jerry Smith from Rick and Morty, if you're familiar with that character. It's a character that was intentionally pathetic in the hopes that other people wouldn't harm them. What I've learned,
I think it does the opposite sometimes, though.
No, very quickly, but I've learned harshly is that when you make yourself out to be a victim, the people that like to victimize people will choose you to victimize.
Yeah.
If you're a web designer, here are 4
I don't know if
features
if I describe it quite that way, but if you're gonna make yourself a victim, basically it's gonna happen. If that makes sense.
Find yourself throughout your life playing justification
It's
games.
the mindset, I guess. To some degree.
Yeah. So it just might be something worth escaping in the future, is just instead of trying to justify like every last thing, a reason for everything.
And to be clear, like the victim mindset isn't like someone who's like went through like a legit thing necessarily. It's more like the person who just wants to keep on bringing up anything to it's okay what I'm doing because I'm a victim. That's a different. There's like differences, and I guess to clarify how I'm using it.
happening. Reason why I did this. The reason why I made this choice is because of this whole winded thing of a character I'm trying to do and all this stuff.
Well, in
instead
therapy,
of just justification.
in therapy, we learn why we do things, right? I know why. During the Frank Castle situation, when a man was battering down my door, calling me the N word and an FAGGOT and all that, I know why I opened that door.
Yeah.
Right? I did it because I wanted to stand up for myself. I did it because you shouldn't be on my property.
Yeah.
I did it because this is a
to be fair, he
transgression.
shouldn't have.
Does the law care? No, it's not an excuse. I broke the law. I pay. But it's important to understand why.
Bro, if you like argued successfully that you were legitimately scared, you need to you probably could have gotten away with it if you didn't do it warning. I don't know. At least I've heard a few legal people say that.
Why I did these things.
Yeah. But justify is different than
no, it doesn't justify it at all, right?
Okay.
This is why I did it. I need to have an understanding of why I did it so that I hopefully won't do something like that ever again.
I don't know.
The only reason I ask if that's been a part of your life
I don't
is
feel
because
bad
I don't want us
for
to
Frank
be
Castle.
justifying
I think he's
things
an
in the
asshole.
future.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he deserves it.
I really want you to get to a good place, man. The minimum you need to bring in order to live your minimum needs with current debts. Get rid of the debts is different. Actually, we're paying.
Let's talk about what happens when we get rid of the debts.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yes, exactly. Except for the mortgage.
Sure.
Then we need $5,203 to survive on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
That means you need to bring in $10,407 on a monthly basis for like recommended budgeting purposes.
Okay.
Recommended.
Yeah.
It's obviously going to be tighter than that until you can get there. If you can get there again, that's great because I mean
that'd be amazing for sure.
10,000 a month?
Yes, it's because your needs. We want to shoot for that being about 50%. That is difficult. That's usually more difficult in places like New York City or LA.
I miss another thing that Caleb hasn't really brought up in a while was the idea of 50-30-20, where 50% of your income should be spent on needs, 30% can be spent on wants, and then the 20% should be spent on investments. And that generally sets you up for success. I kind of wish that he brought that up more. Like, I think he maybe doesn't just because he figures the audience has heard it enough by now. But you can always get a new people, so I don't know. I'd like it if he brought that back a bit. So probably won't put that on the bingo card just because I haven't heard it in so long.
Rent's gonna
sure.
More...
It's a little easier in Arkansas.
Yes,
maybe not Northwest Arkansas, but still.
Yeah, I can't speak for that place specifically, but that's typically what we try to shoot for: 50% going to our needs, 30% for our wants, 20% for investing.
Yeah.
Now, if I were in your shoes, is to shoot for that $10,400 as quick as I can, doing whatever it is, whether it's in content creation, whether it's a drive-through work, whether it's anonymous call center. And I know, we already talked about having the name out there and just, different things. But even if, again, we can try the more anonymous thing or applying for jobs like it's a full-time job, might be a consideration. If things don't play out, maybe we give it, this is going to last for another 5 months if no more income brings in.
Sure.
I say if we hit there, and we've no longer gotten to the place where we can, survive.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, liquidating cards might be the option then, but we're at that point. I think we've proved this is not working.
Right.
At that point, I say we try to scrape together any and every job we can.
Yeah.
And we're not above any and every job at that point.
Can the chick do it, or is she
I think a lot of people
taking
have
care
this
of him the whole time?
idea, and I get that the documentary definitely painted this picture, right? I think a lot of people don't understand what I'm willing to do to survive. But I hope that you know that I literally drove across the country with an injury.
Yeah.
To be here to do this, right?
Yeah, you did.
So I'm willing to eat as much as I need to do this, right?
Are you willing to stop eating $900 in McDonald's and Starbucks a month?
I'd love to. And it's something
I'd love
I actively
to. Does that
have
mean
tried
yes?
to do my whole life.
I get that.
Or just you want to.
It's like not a choice. It's really not.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Most
you
addicts
respect
will tell
that?
you.
You don't agree?
I don't. I'm not making excuses, but it's the reality of the
You're
situation,
making
right?
excuses.
It's like going to Eugenia Cooney and saying you need to put on 50 pounds.
Bro.
Of course she does. Of course she does.
What about accountability? The people surrounding you.
I mean, they're doing their best.
Well, what does that look
Nobody
like?
can hold your toes to the fire, man.
I know, but is there enablement?
No, the opposite. Quite the opposite. Right?
Are you
people
sure?
who will let me cook healthy meals, cheap meals here. Okay.
Okay,
but
then why do you go out?
man.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, this show comes.
They deliver to your house, right? Like if in a weak moment, I'm going to choose McDonald's.
In this show, I can do finances. I'm obviously not an addiction person. All I can say on the finances, if we're not willing to change that, then
Yeah.
as the title of the video suggests, you're gonna die in poverty. I mean, like I said, if you don't stop, you have.
Because I guess this was another one of the change of title. Oh, yeah, I guess it must have been like Boogie's Gonna Die in Poverty or something. It's that's the thing. Caleb's titles change like all the time.
Have to stop.
I
it's
guess because now that he has a team, they're like testing out things
right
in the
now,
algorithm. I don't know.
It's insane. It adds an additional 20% to your budget, 15% to your budget, and we can't even survive in the needs. Oh. It's just really no longer a choice. So you're choosing at this point. Even yes, addictive tendencies. I get it, and that is not my thing to talk about.
Guys, if you're looking for a school that is 100% online, offers low cost tuition, and has over 135 degrees.
There we go.
If you choose to do that after this conversation, you've chosen just giving up and just.
Well, I mean, after this conversation, I'm going to continue to do what I've been doing for the last 30 to 45 days, which is work as much as I humanly possibly can.
Okay,
how many hours a day do you think?
I'm putting in like a good 40-hour work week now.
Okay. Well, I think that when we can't survive, I think that needs to be 60 to 80.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's
where
fair.
I am. And like at the end of the day, again, no excuses. You know, people think I don't want to get a real job. I'm a disabled felon, man. Right? I've been disabled since 2005.
I don't know,
right?
man. There's some things that people can just do regardless.
I can't do physical labor. That's not an option, right?
Just do a call center.
Call it home. Again, service.
So now they have to Google that I'm a felon who
Yeah.
beats his wife, and because that's what happens when you Google my name. Go do it right now.
Yeah.
They have to hire that person.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're not going to.
Those are the positions where those hired. More. What's the word?
They're not for like the best jobs, but they still get
People
hired.
With records.
They need something to live off of.
Do tend to find more opportunities.
Right, but are they also disabled? Right, like I'm saying,
well, this would hopefully be work at home.
Right. And the disabled might help you to some degree.
But I'm just saying, like, if that job crosses
at least for like
my
call
lap
center stuff, I don't know.
I'll take it. Have I actively looked for it? Absolutely.
If
I just don't think it exists.
I don't know if I believe you.
Yeah.
Okay. Our good friend LinkedIn. You know, this is a wide variety.
Yeah.
Well, this is giving way too much variety. Let's just do customer service. So I did call center and I was doing like real estate agent. It was like the 5th one down.
Right.
Does that make sense? There you go.
Interesting.
How to apply to these billion, trillion, quadrillion jobs.
I have.
Have you?
I'm telling you. I've done this exact thing in the last year.
I don't know.
No,
because,
I've applied for
if you watch the Mike documentary, they take him to a job hunter or like a headhunter type thing. And she almost has the person has almost like an interview with him to try to figure out what she can try to get him, and he's just making like excuses and just basically saying why he can't work and why no one will hire him. And then surprise, surprise, she thinks that no one can hire them, but I think it's mainly because of his attitude, and it just sets him back. It's because he's decided that he's not going to work, so he's just not.
Over a dozen, and I kept getting told the same thing, which is, dude, you're unemployable.
Yeah. So even for the people that are very employable, though, applying for a dozen jobs, you likely won't get a single job.
Okay,
you need like hundreds for an interview sometimes.
Yeah.
Tell me off camera.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's nothing we're going to be able to do for you. I don't think there's anything about you need to focus on the YouTube thing.
Okay.
Like
it's because of your attitude, though. I think that's
these people
why.
aren't going to hire me. I trust her evaluation.
No,
I think it's because of your attitude, not because of just your
I struggle with the conversation
paper.
if we decide it's impossible, then it's impossible to
qualities. I think it's your attitude.
That, but if you told me that I need to start flapping my wings and fly out of here, right? We would agree that that's not a possibility.
She's probably right that you can't get most desirable.
He's asking him for reasonable things, though. Like there's totally jobs that he can do. I swear. Like there's like weird like training AI bot jobs. Like there's all types of things that you can do that wouldn't necessarily need as much human interaction. So I really don't know why he's so set on this, other than he just really doesn't want to.
Desirable jobs.
Or he's just defeated.
Jobs. Anything.
I think he might not
how
just
desirable
kind of have a bit
is
of a
it to
defeatist
cold
attitude.
call teachers about a union and get screamed at by them? Because that's the job I applied for and got told they wouldn't give it to me. How desirable is that job?
Not thrilling.
No. And that was the most desirable job I applied for.
Okay.
And they wouldn't offer me that one. And I had a friend in management at that company.
So you're not willing to try?
This am I willing to try
maybe
doing
he's right,
something
but
that
I
is
don't know.
clearly
I really
not
don't.
going to happen?
I really don't know.
Now, if I get the felony sealed, which is going to cost money, but at the end of my second year of probation, which I think is this year,
how much will it cost?
Here's the thing, though.
Okay.
Is that really going to help Boogie, though? Because he talks about, oh, I'm public figure, and people keep on doing, people can just look up my name. Is looking up his name after he's got it cleared, is that really going to do anything? Even if there's like something to go and like take down that, oh yeah, this person's a felony, each time someone posts it, there's going to be a bunch of people posting it. What is that going to do? I really don't think that might be worth the money, just because if you're afraid of Google searching. I don't know. It seems weird.
Thousands, but if I get that sealed, this is a whole other conversation.
That might be a very worthy investment, pulling from the
I really don't
Magic the
know
Gathering.
if that would actually.
But until March,
be fine.
That's not a conversation we can even start.
Well, March is coming up pretty quick. So I worked. What was it? It's like senior year of college. It was in between a couple jobs, and my dad was like, "Why aren't you working? You need to go work this job." And it was like this odd jobs all around, and it connected people who like needed work, and the people that I was like moving mattresses with into like newly built college apartment complexes. They were all felons, and they were like people who just couldn't get work anywhere else. There was still opportunity that they saw.
Yeah, manual labor is generally pretty lenient on that kind of thing.
Yes.
But
now, of course, that was
yeah.
just an example, though. It was just an example, though. I'm just saying, if we refuse to search for it because we believe it doesn't exist, then it's not going to exist.
At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot.
Bye-bye, Deadpool.
Right. Well, when I'm getting told by professionals it doesn't exist, I listen to professionals. And if that makes me...
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I
really
wasn't there for the conversation.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for the conversation. It's hard for me to just fully...
I'm sorry. I'm never going to blindly believe Boogie. Just, he's had too many incidents. I don't blindly believe him.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I wish we'd put it in the doc, if I'm being honest with you.
Okay.
I mean, we did. It says right there, management will not give us approval because they wouldn't.
Yes, but it's all there. From there, it made it look like because you said, well, you Google me, I'm a pedophile.
And I'll tell you my financial plan, and it might be a stupid one, okay? But because I've seen traction in the last 30 to 45 days, the more I work, the more income I bring in.
Yeah.
The more that I make YouTube videos, the more that I put effort into the editing, the more that I put effort into being an entertainer, the more money I'm making. And that seems to be more valuable than chasing after a dream that professionals are telling me doesn't exist.
Okay.
Right? This is viable.
Maybe.
It's just that one.
But it also sounds funny that he's saying, although like chasing after a dream of desk job of being yelled at on the phone is the dream versus the general stereotype dream career, especially for the zoomies and the alphas of being a YouTuber. I don't know. It sounds kind of weird.
I've talked to several hiring people. Yeah,
I just have to trust you on that.
I've applied for several jobs in the last year.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah, that's like a half hour work on LinkedIn.
Again, when you get shut down by
several
people doing hiring, and you get told the same message, including by a headhunter, hey man, you're a felon who has all these terrible rumors about you.
I mean,
who's going to hire you?
It's hard not to get discouraged.
Also, you're disabled.
Job hunting,
also, you have
it really
no education.
is.
Also, you have no work history. Right?
I don't know. You're a CEO. You built a multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah, you got to set
These
it up.
companies don't see that.
No.
They're not looking for somebody that runs.
You need to know how to sell yourself. Is what he's saying.
Money.
I wasn't saying it just like that. All I'm saying is reframing and resume building and interview skills. With everything you just said that's against you, except for the felony stuff. But you said the lack of education, lack of work history, and stuff like that. Reframing to what you actually have accomplished, because you have accomplished a lot. I've never been a big fan of lying,
man.
That's not lying.
That's not lying.
You have accomplished a lot. You had a multi-million dollar
I've never been a fan of going in and fudging my resume.
You're not
to make it
That's
look
not
palatable.
fudging either.
I don't have an education, but it's because I chose to learn abroad or something.
I was talking about your work skills. You've actually built something successful.
These companies don't see that as something. If you find me a job that pays as much as...
He's just saying that you need to actually try to sell yourself instead of just being defeatist. That's what he's saying. And you're just refused to. You're just shooting down every piece of advice that he's trying to give you.
putting the same hours into my YouTube channel as that, I'll take that job. I'll do it as well.
I mean, you do 40 hours a week, right?
Yeah.
But we might need to do 60 to survive, which might require 20 somewhere else.
Well, it'd be smart to put that 20 hours into this business, the one I'm building, that I keep 100% instead of keeping 5% and kicking the other 90%
You think
up to the guy
that 20% will, or that 20 hours a week, that extra 50% in labor is going to equate to an extra 50% in revenue? If yes, then do it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
the math would have to work, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think most jobs are going to make that math work. Most $12 an hour jobs, which is minimum wage in Arkansas, I think now.
Well, just because it's
less,
minimum,
but
just because something's the minimum wage in that area doesn't mean that you're going to get the minimum wage. Generally, entry level jobs are a bit above the minimum wage, or at least depending on the job market there. So just minimum wage is just to do, I guess, more the bare minimum. But generally, you're going to get more than the bare minimum.
Supposed to hit 12 eventually, right?
Brings an extra $960 a week. That at least meets us to our minimum.
Yeah.
And minimum is better than draining our savings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like I said, I'd rather put that hours into my business.
Yes,
and
no, I'm not against that. I'm just saying, as long as the value actually,
if
the
it
math
correlates,
works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you worked with any services, by the way? There, I can't speak for Arkansas. I can't speak for the city. There's local services. There's
for what?
A wide variety of services who focus on the rehabilitation aspect of people's lives. Now, you did not go to prison, but you do have a felony.
Oh, okay. Like that type of stuff?
Helps to connect felons with workplace opportunities. There are services out there. Have you worked with any of them yet?
It's never come across my table. Again,
it's not about coming across the table. What about you going across their table?
Yeah, you need to go and look for it.
Seal the felony and try to move forward from there. And that happens
I really don't think that's going to help as much, just because of the Google thing.
I've never heard of that before, so I don't know if it even exists in my area, but it might. What would they offer? I don't think they'll offer any financial.
A lot of things I'm seeing are Texas resources. Again, I can't speak for that, but
right. Well, as far as I know, I might not need that in 3 months. But if it turns out in 3 months that I won't be able to get this,
then you'd be willing to?
Yeah, of course, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Again, it's just if math works, dude. If we can bring it in on YouTube, if we can get back to $10,000 a month again, I'm all about it.
I think the biggest mistake I ever made was in 2020 after my nervous breakdown. I stopped working.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I should have had all of this money. I still could, had I not just 2020 when every other YouTuber went to work.
Yeah.
I had to get into intensive therapy instead. I had to reorganize my brain.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm glad I did it. Don't get me wrong. It was a good use of my time.
I don't know.
I came a different person.
I don't know if it sounds like it really was, to be honest.
But
it's based on your behavior.
I think my biggest answer is I just need to go back to making.
I know he has real issues, but still
as many videos as I can, considering my scheduling, my health, and really put my effort into my business.
So I do concede. I mean, if the professionals told you that, I mean, again, if that's what they said.
But again,
I do believe
they're all telling me it becomes a whole other ball game in March.
Yeah.
Hire a lawyer, spend a couple $1,000s, get this completely off my record. No longer shows up in the background.
I don't know
check.
if this is just like a procrastinating, just push it along thing, because I do that. I am terrible about doing that. It's like, oh, I'll take care of this later because this thing's also coming up. I wonder if this is just that. Or if he's being legitimate here. I just feel like because of his amount of excuses in the past, that this might just be an excuse and he's just trying to pass it along into future him to deal with.
Then all we have to do is deal with the other obstacles.
My favorite thing is always to punch back against certain mindsets and try to push people to better themselves. So this is what I try.
Well, like I said, I promise you, I'm not giving up hope. If it comes down to my YouTube channel is no longer making me money anymore. And I literally have to steal for a living. I'll do it.
Well, let's not do that.
No, but I would. I'm telling you, if I have to steal bread to feed my family, I would be that guy.
Yeah.
Right? I will do whatever it takes to survive. Right?
Now,
I'm certainly getting a job like every other human has ever had, or the jobs I've had.
Is that his justification for the crypto stuff? Because he's like, oh, I'm the type of person where if I needed to, I would steal to survive. I don't think he's at that point though, because he was making money with like the Low Cap podcast and stuff, and he did still have the magic cards. So I don't think he needed the crypto money. I don't know, but he might try to have it within his head though. He might be like, oh, it's fine because I need to steal to feed my family. So that's why I did the crypto scam. I don't know.
Security. I've washed dishes at a Mexican restaurant. Yeah. I've worked, right? I have no problem with working. If job fits me and it's going to keep my bills paid, it's going to keep my health insurance so that I don't die, obviously going to do it, man. Obviously.
Okay.
I think one thing that would help, not pushing someone to get work, and I know there's probably background in a lot of different stories.
Yeah.
If your significant other is able to help split the cost of the place they're living,
that
will help with your thing. I do want to talk about, before we wrap it up, just, okay, say you make it 10 years, like you said. I hope it's much longer. I really do. Let's just go off that 15 years.
Yeah.
Sure. What does that look like to you?
We'll see.
We've done YouTube for 15 years.
Hopefully more years.
Want to know how to turn your viewers into shoppers? It's simple. It's Shopify.
Come on, Skippy.
Every time I feature a product.
So we're halfway through that. Through that arc. What does the next 15 look like?
I mean, here's what my life has looked like so far, right?
Okay.
I was homeless when I was 20. Right, I was couch surfing. I was breaking into buildings of the University of Arkansas. Statute of limitations has gone up on that, by the way. But I was sleeping in
so that they don't report
buildings
them,
that they were building still.
I want to hear about your future, the exciting things, not your bad.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
But when I was homeless, I wouldn't have told you that 3 years later I would be running a small business running web design, right?
Sure.
And then later, while I was running that business, I wouldn't have told you I'd be disabled soon after, right? And when I was disabled, I wouldn't have told you I would be a YouTuber who made $1.3 million across a decade.
Yeah.
Right? Plus more sponsorships, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it was probably closer to like 2, right?
Probably as much as 2.5. I would say across everything I've made, for close to $2.5 million.
Good point, Caleb. Good catch.
Right. I cannot tell you what the future looks like.
Because nowadays, I think sponsorships is the main way that YouTubers make money. It's not the ad
Castaway, right? Just got to stay alive, man. That's it. Just gotta stay, because you never know what the tide could bring in tomorrow.
I do agree with that. What about plans?
I mean, that's
my plan currently right now is I've taken it day by day. Every therapist will tell you this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
My current plan is to continue to throw myself at my existing business because my existing business is still profitable.
Okay, and are you going to cut down on the food and stuff? I'm looking for that
next opportunity. I've looked at reselling on Whatnot as a possibility. I've looked at trying to find a small business loan and open something in the area. I've talked to a friend about doing a smash room.
I keep on procrastinating, and there's so much stuff that I need to sell. I keep on procrastinating because I don't know which service to use to try to get rid of some of my old collectibles so I can give myself more time to try this YouTube thing. Because I'm trying to be reasonable. I'm not gonna try to be I'm not gonna drain forever
Employment, like I said, come March, there might be a job out there that suits me and that suits my needs, and I'm still going to look for that. All I know is that right now, when I get home from this, I go home and I film videos and I live stream and I do what I can to entertain the audience that I currently have. And when that audience is gone, I hope I find a new one.
It's another option. I don't want this. This is more last case.
Yeah.
We take it. We sell the house. Have the hundreds of thousands in equity, about $300,000 of equity, and then instead of paying $2,121 in rent, we get like a 1-bedroom, pay like $1,100. Now, obviously, that sucks. That's hard.
Yeah.
Obviously, it has to be ground level, but it saves you $1,000 a month.
I'll do even better.
Okay.
Yeah.
The plan is to move the out of Northwest Arkansas and get to a place where we can buy a house for $50,000.
But you said you had to stay there for medical providers.
Then why not?
It involves giving up on that.
So you're just
right. It involves like not necessarily worrying about being near the best possible healthcare.
Okay,
right?
So
it'll be a more
almost
rural
more like
a more rural kind of thing.
So
right?
more almost like a hospice situation.
Help.
I'm just like waiting to
They know what they're
go.
doing. Just doesn't need to be cutting edge, right? And you can get a house out in the boonies for $50K in Arkansas.
Sure.
It might be closer to her family. It sucked to be further away from my support structure there, but that is a possibility. The Hail Mary play has always been, sell the house, hopefully clear 230, 250 out your closing fees and everything else. And then take that money and live off of it at a very reasonable amount. I think that if you get out into the small parts of Arkansas, you buy a $50,000 house, you have a little bit of land.
Gives you $16,000 a year for the remaining 15. So that would be
you can live pretty okay in Arkansas for $16,000 a year. It ain't great, but I know people who do it.
I know, it would be difficult.
I don't know about that.
1,388.
No more $900 a month fast food at that point.
Well,
at this point,
even
McDonald's
now,
becomes the treat at that point for sure. But
at this point,
exactly. Caleb,
but that's the Hail Mary play.
So I'm rooting for you, not because you're a YouTuber, not because you're sitting across the table from me, not because of history or because you're on the show, whatever. I'm rooting for you because you're a human being who exists on this planet. I'm rooting for you. I'm wishing you the best of luck, man.
To be fair,
I'll be honest, I am scared.
Me too.
I'm also rooting for him. Like, one of the best things that could have ever happened, it's obviously not going to happen now, but if like Chris Chan had somehow gone and like lived his dream and actually got through and was able to make like a living on his drawings or something, which he could have done, by the way. It was starting to do that before like the incident, but that would have been so inspiring and such, like, even if he can do it, then anyone can do it type thing. So just a similar thing with Boogie. I'd love to see him do well, not only for himself, but for other people that he could inspire. Because if even Boogie can do it, I can do it type thing.
Yeah.
I really hope you follow some of the pointers we talked about today.
Oh, I'll tell you, the first thing I do is pay off these high interest debts.
Yeah, never take out another one.
Never. And I had no, and again, the thing I learned from you here today is how bad these were. I had no clue.
Which is kind of scary that you didn't.
Yeah. And yeah, IRS, and then more self-employment income, or setting aside some money for taxes. I don't think your tax bill is going to be exorbitant, but
no, it'll probably be about another $2,000 or $3,000 this year. Should be reasonable.
Okay, we'll see.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, really, it's an income question and what you're not just willing to do, but what you're able to do as well. Yeah. Because of physical things and because of your background. And you're right, the internet search, that's the killer. That's the killer. The felony you conceal. The internet search, it's impossible.
It never goes away.
Yeah.
So just have to hopefully get hired by someone who doesn't
know
how to use the internet.
There's like another, he's actually also on the Local podcast. There's a guy named Wings of Redemption. And his trolls have literally made it so that if he ever tries to get a job, he won't be able to, because they've made like fake resumes for him. They've made like websites just making fun of him, and they've like ruined his like SEO and just made it so that if he ever tries to get a job, like they claim that they want him to do, he just can't, because they've just screwed with him so hard. Like Wings is one of the ones that I have like legit sympathy for, just based on like everything that I know about him.
Well, the goal is to, and again, the headhunters I've talked to, the employers that I've talked to, it comes down to finding someone who doesn't care. And we talked about that when it comes to like people who hire felons and people who hire whatever, right? We are second chance employers, right?
Yes.
And they will look at the situation, and you just got to find that one sympathetic person. That's why I've never given up on finding a job, right? They keep telling me how impossible it is.
Why'd you only do 12
I thought that you said that you gave up
so far then?
Everybody told me, wait till the felony is sealed. Wait till the felony is sealed.
Gotcha.
Right? Like imagine you apply for a place right now, and the felony's on there, and now they're aware of you. And now you apply 6 months from now. They remember you're a felon, right?
Well, I guess it's fair, unless if it's specifically a second chance employer.
To know I was a felon, right? Now all we have to do is find somebody.
Okay, to some degree, I kind of understand that logic.
And can deal with the fact that they Google my name, they see a bunch of rumors, and that's the killer. That's the killer. They're only rumors because they're not true, right? And you just got to find the person.
It depends on which one you're talking about, to be honest.
So I don't lose hope that person exists.
Please don't lose hope.
Yeah.
Please don't lose hope across this entire thing. That's going to be what drives you forward. Let's just do one more guess. Just one more thing. Across all your investments, not the house, but everything else you own.
Sure.
You can survive 9 months. 9 months and the party's over.
Holy cow.
Think about this positively, because this is how I'm thinking about it every day. I get 9 months to try to find a work groove that gets this income up, that deals with my physical restraints, that deals with my mental health issues, that I can find the right groove to bring in this income before we have to sell the house. How many people walk in here that don't have a 9 month grace period? I'm so blessed to have a 9 month grace period to figure this out.
I mean, I
Do you have any
guess
final thoughts?
kind of. I don't know, but you're also one of the older people on here,
and you're clearly a very entertaining person. But at the end of the day, I learned a lot here today.
Oh, that's
And
good.
I think
I guess.
I definitely think you're doing a very good thing for people here.
I do. Yeah, I agree with that.
You're doing it in a very entertaining
Despite the
way.
Caleb Springer.
I'm just me.
And I mean,
He's
you know,
doing
maybe
it.
we butted heads a little bit during this thing, and that's okay.
He's doing good stuff.
But I think what you're doing here is much needed. I think the system is designed to take advantage of people, and not to make myself to be victim, because I don't think it took advantage of me. I just made some bad choices, right? But I think there's a lot of people out there who don't have access to this knowledge. They don't have access to this information and what you're doing here.
Because of the internet, everyone has access to this knowledge. It's just more like getting it out there. That's why I somewhat think that the Caleb Springer thing is almost necessary to get people's attention, so that they'll, because it's entertaining, they'll also, like, it forces them to learn a little bit while they're listening to Caleb getting, like, squeaky voice and things like that. Not that he's squeaked as much as he used to. I miss the squeaking. But, because it's entertaining, it also lures people into the education, I guess. But yeah,
really helps people like that, and I'm glad you do it, man. I'm really glad, and I'm glad to be part of it.
I appreciate that.
That's cool.
I appreciate that. And we've gotten official knowledge now that Boogie did not buy a Tesla.
Yeah,
I never did.
Oh, from Mr. Boogie.
He just didn't tell us.
If we can't afford to live and we're spending $900 a month eating out, it's zero.
Okay.
If we have IRS debt, the debt category is zero. The emergency fund category, I'd love to give it higher because there's a decent amount of money, but who's all crypto, volatile, endless, stupid crypto.
Well, there's also the magic stuff,
retirement,
I guess.
There's nothing. Zero. I'm not considering the crypto. And real estate, I'd like to give it higher, but because he honestly just can't even afford the minimum monthly payment right now, I have to give it a 5. And that's going to be a Hammer Financial Score 1.5 out of 10. Make sure to check out all the resources linked in the description below, including the best budgeting program ever made. Thanks to all of our Patreon
I feel like when he was doing the score here, it wasn't like as structured.
Of financial audit and you're
I don't know
able
if
to
that
make
really
it to
makes as
Austin,
much sense.
Texas, please fill out an application in the survey
There
link in the description below. You can also send a link to your friends or family who you think might be good to be on the show. If you have any questions, you can email casting.
As always, we'll also check out the comments. Also, I'll link to the original video. I'll also try to link to the Boogie informational videos if you're into that. So I'll link to that. He generally has a lot of financial resources in his comments if you'd like to see those. But yeah, always check out Caleb. He's a pretty great creator, and I do think that he's doing good work. But if you could subscribe to me too, that would be amazing. But let's read through some of these comments. Prepare yourself for an hour and 45 minutes of Caleb makes a valid criticism. Boogie tells a wildly unrelated story show, which is very much a thing that did happen. Is it too late for Boogie to go into politics because he's really good at talking in circles and never answering questions? Yeah, very, very true. Very, very true. Boogie's one of those people that have been in the mental health industry for so long that they can just regurgitate psychiatric ideas, vocabulary, and ideologies in order to sound smart and give an answer for every valid point you make, when in reality they aren't really saying anything. Yeah, I think that's part of why I don't really like how much mental health is like a thing now, just in terms of like how people talk about it, because I feel like a lot of people just like misuse things and try to say like they know more than they do. That's why it just kind of also it kind of is used as an excuse by a lot of people, so I'm not a big fan of that. Okay, Boogie, I hope I wouldn't buy crypto a second time. 6 months later I'm promoting crypto. Yeah. Okay. Boogie, I'll do anything to survive. Anything. Caleb, including stopping spending $900 a month on fast food. It's an addiction and it's not my fault. Nothing has ever been Boogie's fault in his entire life. Yeah. Boogie is one of the saddest, most manipulative, excuse maker, and gaslighter I've ever observed. I mean, kind of. Yeah, he's up there. He's got his issues. I think that'll probably be enough of the comments for now. Thank you for giving me a shot and watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like if you can. If there's anything you'd like to see from me in particular, let me know. I am kind of interested in lolcow content, so if there's any like lolcow finance that you'd like me to look over, I'd love to do that, or just lolcows in general. But yeah, just let me know what you thought. And thanks for giving me a shot. I really do appreciate it. Bye. Oh no, the button's not working. Okay, bye.